Okay, so now, just so you know, watch what you say, I know the now the original saying that we're going live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on TuneIn, and, live on DPP Radio. We will be played on City World Radio tomorrow. We will be played on Village Connection on Monday. We will replay on Saturday here again. This is Saturday is their own shows. We run random on Armed Forces Network.
Awesome.
So we don't have
Yeah.
an actual schedule on it. We just, whenever they want to put us, they'll throw us up.
Cool. No, I'd rather, at least on my section, if we could just, I know it's uncensored, the curses only because.
We try not to curse at all. We are uncensored, but we.
No, I'm the first one that slips through, so.
But that's where we're safe.
Yeah.
And there's a radio network that wants to pick us up and syndicate us.
Oh, really?
But they want to edit us. So I said, okay, well, what if we don't curse? And he said, well, I still got to edit. So I said, all right. I said, all right, well, and we're waiting on like 5 different networks to syndicate us also. So right now we're on, not counting YouTube and Facebook Live. We're on
I
4
printed
different
these last minute.
DPP Radio, TuneIn, DPP Radio, TuneIn, City World Radio, Village Connection Radio, and Armed Forces Radio. So,
You know, I wanna do that, everybody.
We're only live tonight, but we replay here on Saturday, we're on City World tomorrow night, we're on Village Connection on Monday, and we run random on, this is not good. We play this one every day. It's good stuff. We're waiting on 5 other ones for sure, and another maybe 5 or 6 that reach out to us and we'll get back to when they have working schedules.
How long you?
Been doing this for 4 years. I met it at, it was originally on Sirius. The original cast members, one of them wanted too much money. So we picked it up, the 2 other guys who are no longer with us, in the garage. Stick it just for your own show, your dinner. Like on Facebook, everybody did their own show. That went on for like a year and a half. And then it died out because we were having issues, the other guys were having issues. And then we had the opportunity to come here because DPB Radio was in there, this new show, the judge, doctor, and we were like, perfect. Where the wise guys meet the cops, that was our.
What's the, actual, because my friend's on YouTube.
Go to DPB Radio, go to DPB Radio.
Not on YouTube? He wants to watch.
All he
on
wants to
YouTube.
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw him.
Wiseguyz Live.
Wiseguyz Live.
Okay.
It should be on right as we speak. Let me double check, show you.
Cause he went to this page, look, I'll show you. This opens up to him. Oh, okay.
Nobody's in there moving.
Okay, okay.
And the only thing that screws that up is.
You should be seeing your poster on that. You know, like that. Poster right there, the one we're filming, they'll show up.
We're probably a few seconds behind.
What do you do, Jim?
Oh, yeah,
You're the most
Jacob's the drink before he took it.
Unfortunately, I have to. I don't want to be
You're into
here.
somebody, you're into somebody tonight.
I don't want to be here, but I have to be
You
here.
wanna be here.
You love us.
No, I actually.
You used to tell us that this was the best show, and that you would like to rather come here.
What shows go on here Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday?
Oh, hell no. Listen, guys, tonight
If
we're
that was the
going,
case,
no
I'd have
headphones,
on the
just
bed
stay.
by now.
We're trying something new. I'm just listening to the headphones to make sure everything sounds right on the.
Yeah, the
on
host
radio.
only gets the headphones.
And we have a speaker, if someone's on the phone, we'll put right on my desk, right next to me is a speaker. And we will be able to hear ourselves on the speaker. I just get to listen, just to make sure it sounds right. We're making an attempt to know
That's a little bit of everything.
Book and a movie, and the movie's actually gonna.
We got a lot to talk about. We got an hour to talk about with you. There's a lot of research I did.
Well, it started back. Hey, should we take a quick picture, or how we are?
We got, what do we have left?
Can you take a shot?
We got 2 minutes.
We'll get
3.
together.
show a shot.
Get in a minute.
Want me to get it?
Yeah, everybody.
How's it look?
Okay.
And he did it with the donut in the other hand.
Don't forget, I was doing it like this,
Let's
too.
go.
Okay.
Don't close that.
Why?
I gotta run back upstairs.
I can close this.
When I have.
Really, you
No,
want
no,
it
no, no.
back here?
Oh, you're gonna leave that open?
What? No, I'm gonna close this.
Yeah, but you're gonna leave this open? Cause I didn't want to come through the show. That's why I was gonna go out and.
Oh, all right. Can I leave it open and lock this door?
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
Nobody's gonna run upstairs, right? All right, somebody runs upstairs.
All right, I'll run upstairs.
All right, how's it look? Live on live on
No,
YouTube.
you can. Let me just move this one out of here. We don't need this.
Next to you.
Bill, you can join us if you want. Frank sits here. You sit there, or you can sit next to me. It doesn't matter, whichever you want.
Franco.
Yes.
Frankie, sit here.
Billy, just join us in the room. And
Of course, you obviously have to join us in the room.
Sit over there. And then Mike, sit here.
unless you want to eat something, Bill, you're welcome to get up anytime you want.
All right? I'm gonna
Get ready
film
for
from
the
that
hour that we got our hands on you.
Half-hour breaks, right?
What?
Half-hour breaks, how are we doing?
Yeah, same thing.
Silence your phone.
Oh, if your phone gets off, this is almost like school. We take them. Your parents have to come pick them up at the end of the school year, all right?
Got my Billy sample notes right here. April 2nd, 1955, right?
Oh,
I don't
Wikipedia.
feel his age. This isn't a.
One day
I
after
wear
April Fool's
62 very well.
All right, we're starting with the first. We're gonna run our theme song, right?
Jose,
This
Yeah,
is
I
theme
mean-
song.
Freddie, you ask me every
YouTube
week.
version.
But hosts, callers, and guests are not those of
We are Facebook Live right now.
Facebook Live, baby.
It's advertisers,
And
sponsors, or
YouTube Live, we're
employees.
just about to start the show on TuneIn and DDV Radio. Our theme song, how's it sound? Can everybody hear?
I think so. Who's online? Oh, wait, you can see it.
You can hear your headphones, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Plug it in. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. All right.
This is a new technique that we're trying. Instead of using headphones, you hear right from here. I just need to hear the headphones to make sure it's clear. Right.
You kind of want to move over a little bit more that way, Freddie, because of the mic. I just don't want this to kind of feed back onto the.
I'll figure that out.
here.
You want me to move this whole on the other side?
No, here, I'll move it this way.
I can make plenty of space. I can move right here.
All right, yeah.
He's in LA.
Actually, no, hold on. It's going to be too tight. All right, I just keep the speaker like this.
But he did a lot of.
Good?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
fix it.
A lot of it.
All right, we're back. Another version of the Wiseguyz Show. That's right. Welcome to May, the month of May. I am Freddie the Fireman, your host here tonight on the Wiseguyz Show. Sitting next to me is the Source himself, Anthony Source. What's up, buddy? Sitting across from me is a fill-in tonight, but he is a part of the Wiseguyz Show. He's making his ways in there. Mike, the Mad Dog Jenkins, is in the house tonight. Mike Mad Dog. Sitting next to Mike, everybody knows Jumpin' Gennaro, unless he's singing at your wedding, or singing in Hoboken somewhere, or even fixing a Ferrari. Mike Jumpin' Gennaro's in the house tonight. And in studio, we have both our studio guests. We are live on YouTube, by the way. You can see our in-studio guest, our first guest tonight. Frank Gigante's in the house tonight.
Frankie Gigante. Hoboken boy, Hoboken boy.
And sitting in the corner over there, former Major League Baseball player, baseball legend,
Ellie
Sample. Hey!
He's not even a legend in his own mind.
That's like a brain fart. That's what that's called. And now I know what that means. All right, but welcome everybody again. This is the Wiseguyz Show. We are on ddvradio.com, DDV Radio on TuneIn, Armed Forces Radio Network, Village Connection Radio Network, City World Radio Network, the Wiseguyz Show Facebook group page. You're seeing us live on our Facebook group page with the talent coordinator. Does a great job. Let's give her a round of applause. All right. Also check out the wiseguyzshow.com, Wiseguyz Show on Twitter, Wiseguyz Show on Instagram and YouTube. And we are live on YouTube, as you can see. Well, another week goes by and now we're in May. Has the months gone by or what? I was just shoveling
Days,
snow.
weeks. It's
Time has been
unbelievable.
flying.
I was just shoveling snow. Well, Frank
You're complaining
Gigante,
about that?
well, listen, Frank Gigante came all the way from Hoboken, all right? And my Hoboken
Yes, sir.
guy over
Hoboken, New
here.
Jersey.
Did you grow up in Hoboken?
I was actually born in Italy.
Oh.
Grew up in Jersey City Heights.
We're in Italy.
Puglia, Mola di Bari. I
Oh.
lived there for 10 years.
You're my paisan.
Hey, we're paisans.
See?
Yeah. Holy cow.
And I came back to Hoboken,
Nice.
actually on the same block I was born on, so that's pretty
Wow,
amazing.
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
street was that?
We can't tell everybody.
I'll have to talk to you later.
All right.
Well,
But-
I just want everybody to know we've made 2 confirmations of future guests on our show. One from Rocky 5. If most people remember Rocky 5, she was Connie Morrison's girlfriend in the movie. Delia Shepard's is going to be joining us in May.
July.
Also, who called to confirm while she was driving, Richard Grieco is from 21 Jump Street and he confirmed. So we got a lot of good stuff happening. I also want to special mention Bob Levy's show. Levy Live will be on very soon. He had to cancel this week's show, but and also Curtain Call with Steve Joyner. Steve Joyner is a friend of the show. Gets us a lot of guests and a big supporter. And one real quick, I want to mention a new sponsor, not a new sponsor, an old sponsor sponsored us again, and we want to do a special mention to his company, Home Security Consultant LLC. Go check him out at homesecurityconsultantllc.com. Sean Starry. He is the owner and the consultant. He will help you make your house safe. If you have questions for him to figure out the best way to do it, I know they announced a good smoke detector now with cameras and stuff, and a lot of good stuff. So check out Sean Starry at Home Security Consultant LLC. Call them up at 815-238-3005. Sean Starry at HomesecurityConsultantLLC.com. Check him out. And thank you, Sean, for
Thanks
sponsoring
for
our
supporting,
show.
Sean.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna need Sean after I almost gave up my street address. Put some security cameras.
But now, the moment is here for Frank Gigante to tell us more about this broken silence movement that's
We've been
happening.
hearing so
Yeah,
much
actually,
about.
it's
so much
breaking
about.
the silence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Breaking the Silence is the film.
Okay,
Broken Silence is the movement and the future film.
okay.
Before I get into the film, though, I want to compliment you guys on how much you made this radio show grow. I met Freddie a while back, I think in Little Italy it might have been, and we reconnected thanks to, is it Jumpin' Gennaro?
I like Mike the Mechanic. I always like Mike the Mechanic.
Thanks to Michael at the screening of The Brooklyn Banker, and it was just so nice to reconnect because he stood out as a person when I met him, and compliments to your show. And I have to be honest, the first time somebody told me, hey, did you ever hear the Wiseguyz Show? I said, what? The Wiseguyz Show? Yeah, Johnny Salami. I said, get out of here. I thought he was pulling my leg, and then it really existed.
Listen,
and it's a cool
there's
show.
been so many people that have been on the Wiseguyz Show. Johnny Salami, Carl was here, John Cha-Cha, Vinny Pestore
Rest
was the
his soul,
wise guy from the
Cha-Cha,
original show, so was Cha-Cha. And Cha-Cha was my friend who I got to know for a long time in Little Italy, and he supported us all the way up until the day he passed. He was always a call-in. I didn't even have, I call up Cha-Cha or text him and say, Cha-Cha, would you like to call in tonight? No problem. And he's done it so many times to have Cha-Cha call in. Sitting next to him was a Tony Danza or
Right,
Danny
right.
DeVito, and they're sitting next to him while he's
That's
calling in
awesome.
the show, while they're hanging out eating. I mean, it was a great time, and I miss Cha-Cha, but
Yeah, God rest his soul. He actually has a picture holding my
Yes,
Broken
that's-
Silence
that's
poster.
really- I saw
A
that.
gentleman, a really nice guy. So,
Tell us
talk
more.
a little bit about anti-bullying. May 11th at the Hoboken Historical Museum at 7:30 p.m. I will be showing my anti-bullying short docufiction, Breaking the Silence. It's more of an educational film, a parents must see. I'm honored to have the parents of the late Tyler Clementi in my film and will be present at the event. My goal with my film, Breaking the Silence and Broken Silence, is to get kids to speak up. I hear the word suicide come up in anti-bullying circles a lot, and when I look and do my my research, I find that more and more teens are committing suicide. Now,
It's terrible what's happening.
I always say that when I was about 10, 12, I didn't even have a clue what the word suicide meant. Today, the youngest victim that I found in my research was a 10-year-old girl. So to think that a kid at 10 years old has the courage to take her life away, and why? Because of bullying situations. So my whole goal is break the silence. Tell someone, rather than self-harm, if you're going through through something, sorry, to speak up about it. My inspiration came from a girl that was about 14 years old that committed suicide. I was having dinner with my family, and the news was on, and bullying, suicide, 14 years old, on account of some kids, blah, blah, blah. And when I turned around, I got a glimpse of this 14, 15-year-old girl, beautiful, and I said to myself in that instant, this girl's not here anymore because someone pushed a little too much. And in that very same moment, I got a vibe. And I say this because it was spiritual, supernatural, whatever you want to call it, but it was strong. Something went through me. I say it was almost like a communication, almost saying, hey, you can hear me, do something about it. So I turned around and I said to my wife, I said, I think I have to do something about bullying. And that's what started it all. The way I got the name of the title was that young girl's mother came out and she said, I wish I would have known what my daughter was going through. Because had I known, maybe she'd be alive today.
Wow.
So today's world, we're all busy. I include myself, running around, cell phones, technology, everything's moving so fast. I think we miss a lot of the little signals that kids give. That, hey, how was your day? Oh, it was okay, just had a bad day. You sure you don't look at, yeah? And there's things that build up in these students, in these kids, not only students, and of course there's bullying in adults too, but we'll leave that for another show. So my whole goal with this project is, get the kids to speak up, tell someone, whether it's a friend, a lot of times they don't want to go to the parent's going to go to the school, and I don't blame the schools at all because there's really no solution to bullying. If you really think about it, there's many methods to try and stop it, but there's nothing that in one shot could just stop it unless we all start contributing as parents, as guardians, and getting a little more involved. And I say that because, everyone's everyday life is busy. I'm doing the laundry and you don't pay attention to what's going on, and the kid may be hurting inside. Now, I have a girl in my film that was bullied since first grade till about her
Is this
first
what
year.
inspired you to do this?
Well, not this girl.
Okay.
Yeah, the girl, I didn't know the girl. She was out of California. It was
Okay.
just that moment that inspired me. But when I started doing the research to make this film, I met a dear friend. I was telling her that I'm going to do this, and she mentioned you should talk to my daughter because she was bullied. Little did I know this girl was bullied for 8 years straight by the same girl.
Wow.
This girl used to eat lunch in the bathroom, walk around in circles in the playground. And, my films are short, and every time she's there, which she will be at this screening, we have at least an hour and a half of Q&As because it touches you. This girl ended up cutting herself, but she found the strength to speak up. And I think that's what we need to do is get these kids more to speak up. Now, should I continue? I feel like I'm doing all the talking here.
You got us
Fine.
intrigued here.
I got you intrigued, all right.
This is,
So
yeah, no.
I'm
See, I grew up in the city of Newark, and Newark was a tough school
Sure.
system, and I grew up in grammar schools. And I was a bad kid. I'm not gonna lie.
We
I was
didn't
a
have the
neighborhood
word
kid.
bullies back, but we didn't have the word
No,
bully.
no, we didn't have bullies, but we had more of like people like me. Like I was like always sticking up for the bully.
Right.
And you know, it was not too many people would mess with
Sticking
me.
up
For the bully or for the
There was
bully
those who
victim?
could, no,
For
there
the
was those I'd have problems with that I
Sure.
couldn't do nothing about. But
Right.
but I always was the kid who stuck up for the bully.
Right.
If I seen a bunch of kids jumping in a kid bullying them,
Right,
basically,
right.
I'd just step in and.
That's
and
why you would support the person.
The
Yeah,
victim,
always,
the victim,
always,
yeah, yeah.
always. And I'm
Not
telling
the
you, even
bully.
growing up in the streets as a teenager,
Sure.
I was the one who was always about an even fight. And see, my friends were crazy, you know. I mean, and we were neighborhood kids, you know.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, we fought, you know. And but the thing was, I didn't like fighting in like 10-on-1. I didn't like that. You fight if you're gonna fight. Back in the day, you fight 1-on-1. If
Right,
it's
right,
gonna
right,
happen,
yeah.
you get it over with 1-on-1. You didn't let somebody jump somebody.
What you experienced in Hoboken too.
Oh yeah.
We
You
all
know,
went-
when I
went
went to
through it.
high school, yeah, it was you know, it was a 3,000 student school. But you know
Come
what
in,
the
come in.
difference is that today.
I'm sorry, live on DDV Radio, the Wiseguyz Show. The pizza man is getting the pay.
Pizza
paying
guy.
The bill. The pizza guy. The pizza guy. What do you got? 41. I don't know.
Give you the pizza.
What's the name of the pizzeria?
Oh, Helen Pizza?
You get some free advertising here.
No bullying the pizza guy.
Yeah. Hey, what do you want? Money?
I gotta give him Annette. You gotta here.
What?
Yeah, help him out. You got 2 fives?
I always.
Only on the Wiseguyz Show, in the middle of the segment, we're paying the pizza guy. We do this.
He probably has
just give him a
change.
couple singles, please. I don't have no singles.
I have 2 singles.
That's,
Yeah, I got him.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah.
give him a couple singles. I don't want to give him a $20 tip, you know. But just a couple singles.
Now I can't
No,
get
I'm
home.
making $20 anyway.
We don't ask the guests to pay for tips.
It's like I'm delivering there all the time.
But,
All right, man.
thank you so much.
We feel like part of the family now. You know, we all
Yeah.
contribute.
He did this last week. He did better off last week too.
Yeah, he probably waited till the show started. You know what he was doing.
But yes. So go ahead.
Now, what I was saying was that back then it happened with one kid, one bully, you know, maybe a few kids. But today's problem is social media, because you know you get attacked
You
by
have
3. Yeah, you get attacked by 300-400 kids, sometimes in the thousands. You go home and everybody's criticizing something you did or a picture or.
But the problem is, these days, everybody's got one of these.
Sure,
Everybody's
yeah.
got one of these. There's a video. It's disgusting.
Well, that's what it is, you know, and that's you know, a kid goes home, you don't know as a parent, they go on the computer and they're being attacked maybe because of something they wore, and they completely exclude you, and you know,
It's vicious. It gets vicious.
It's vicious.
Yeah, I see. We, you know, like I said, I literally remember my school always being. There was always the one kid that always used to get beat up all the time, and then another kid came, and another kid, and they used to gang up and just kids took out their frustration on
Yeah,
innocent kids. It was bad.
Yeah.
The biggest
It was.
conflict is that realistically the schools, you know, they don't know how to handle it. This is all new. I mean, how do you handle most of the
They're
time?
trying to.
I mean,
you know.
it's going to take a world of education. I mean, right away, first of all, the other conflict is that somebody could be falsely accused.
Sure.
You know, and all of a sudden, you know, they're looked at and they're being bullied because of something that's not even true.
Right.
You know, and it's like they have to investigate it. They have to see, you know. It's very complicated.
Because now that
Social-
they're taking it,
what-
the state of New Jersey is taking it very, very seriously.
Of course.
They do investigate, you know, both students if there's more than one involved, or
And we go to court.
and you go to court.
My
yeah.
son was attacked in school,
Oh,
so
really?
I know what you're talking
The
about.
police in the school was not even heard of.
Yeah.
But it's like when we were our upbringing, we were taught to fight back, and usually if we were being bullied, it was just like 2 kids getting in trouble for being in a fight.
Right.
That term, I mean, there was the term bully, but there was never that term bullying. There was never like posters all over the school,
Right.
bullying. I mean, do you think maybe society has made more of this than what it is bullying? We're teaching kids to speak up. We're not teaching them to fight back. And I'm not saying I don't condone fighting, but
you know what? It's hard because everyone's different. You know, you may have one personality, and I may be a little more sensitive.
Right.
So something may bounce off of you, but I may take that home, you know, and just bury myself in my thoughts, and knowing that I have to confront you again the next day, you know, again, you know, that fear, everyone's gonna laugh. Now I don't want to go to school. I mean,
There's definitely a lot more pressure, you know, in family lives, you know, beyond the school life, you know, in the family life, and you know, not maybe having both parents, and you know, financial struggle. There's so much.
yeah,
these
everyone
kids
has a story.
you know, and you know, and the parents are getting pressure, and you know, the family's getting pressure, and it's like from every angle. And a kid really should be nurtured and loved and guided, and you know, experience nothing but wonderful things. But the reality of it is that they're not. And if they're staying silent about it, and they're not connecting some way with other kids, you know, homophobics, and you know, oh, you're hanging around with that, you know, kid so much. What are you guys doing? I mean, it is in the society. You know, two girls, two kids. You know, you know, when two kids were hanging out or fishing together all the time, or you know, did stuff all the time together. It was a norm. Now it's like criticism from every angle.
That's one of the groups that's most targeted, is the LGBT community. So, you know, there's a problem there too. Because,
But I'm just talking about in general.
Right.
You know, from other kids. So you know, why are you together all the time? You know, why, you know, two very good friends right away are stereotyped as, you know, being gay or lesbians. You know,
Right.
it's crazy.
See, I always got in fights as a kid, and my father told me, you know, that's it.
Correct.
Get into no more trouble unless someone hits you. You know, I was like, yeah, all right. So I carried that on all the way to high school, and then we left high school and went to Belleville High, and I was late for class because I was new to the school. I didn't know nothing about it and everything. I'm my first class I ever got to. I get into the class. I'm looking around. Everybody's looking at me. I didn't know who anybody was. I go to sit down. I pull my books down and everything. And I turn my head and I just look at who was next to me. And the kid's looking at me. Goes, got a problem? I said, oh my God, I just got to. So, I mean, there's always something. I mean, kids in school have to, you know who they're dealing with, and not be afraid to you know, to confront the fear. You know, they have, yeah. We were always taught to fight, you know, and if we didn't fight, you know, you got to tell somebody if somebody's really going to hurt you, or a group of people are going to hurt you. You have to open.
oh
your
yeah,
mouth.
if you defend yourself, that's indifferent. You're
And then-
defending yourself, and
and
you're
nowad-
pushed to the limit.
And
You know,
nowadays
sometimes
you have to deal with the courts, you know. You
Right.
hit somebody.
it automatically
Yeah,
becomes.
it's always going. Hit
No,
somebody, he wasn't bullying him, hit him
I
first.
want to say something because Freddie reminded me of my freshman year in high school. So I went
Hoboken High?
Yeah, Hoboken High. At the time, 3,000 students,
Yeah, at the time.
and you know, the Italians, maybe you could count on two hands in the school there. So I get there and I see, you know, all these big kids, mean faces, and I'm like, man, let me find one of these big guys, become friends with him right away, you know. So I see, you're gonna love this, Jimmy. I see this maybe 6 foot, 6'5", 6 foot African American kid, but very well dressed, with his bag. So I go next to him and say, "How you doing? I'm Frank. Pleasure." He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" First day of school, he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wow, this guy's a freshman. He's big." I was all excited. Little did I know, 3 days later, he was getting bullied. So we were both looking for a new friend. But the way I
Should have called Billy. He had a bag.
no, you know what it was? My father always told me, if you come home with a black eye, I'll give you another one. So it was either, you know, give someone black eye, make sure, but I wouldn't fight. When they'd come to fight, I said, listen, do you really want to do this? You're going to get your face screwed up, my face screwed up. I have no intentions to get any bruises. Let's walk away. But anyway, getting back to the bullying situation, I'll tell you how we actually got to breaking the silence. I was trying to make a feature film that I'd like to get on, if you guys remember those after school specials. And that would be called Broken in Silence. Again, inspired from the 14-year-old girl. We have a script that I was bringing forward. We did find an investor, and unfortunately, a little while after, he had some personal problems and didn't come through with the full amount. So we made a short documentary, just not to have nothing, and I'm using this now to hopefully make the bigger film. Based on what you were saying before, Mike, is I'm telling everyone that can make it, even though the museum's not that huge, to come down, because you'll get some good pointers from the victims, from the activists, from the parents of Tyler Clemente that, you know, had an unfortunate situation. They lost a son on account of bullying. So it's more of an interviewed kind of, you know, you're not watching a fictional kind of film. It's more interviewed based, but it's very informative. And I'll also have a kid there that is being bullied right now out of, I think, Union City, and his father just pulled him out of school a week ago. He was at one of my other screenings, and it's terrible because the parents suffer too when kids are going through this
The
stuff.
family suffers.
Well, listen, is there any websites, any places you could send to these people to, any information you want to?
Yeah, I mean, breakingthesilenceFilm.com, brokensilencemovement.com, then Frank Gigante on Facebook. There's a like page, and the rest of social media. I think it may be under Broken Silence, Instagram and Twitter, the same, more or less. But all the information, or just call Freddie.
Yeah, call
or
him.
Mike.
No,
the rest of the
listen,
places.
what I want you to do is I want you to continue letting us know what's going on.
Sure.
You can post your videos or anything that you
Definitely.
do about this on our Facebook group page. When we see it there, we approve it, because we got to be careful nowadays what people put up. But we see it, we approve it, and then we'll share it to people and get it out there. It's
Thank
a great
you.
cause, and I'm glad that someone actually did something about it.
I appreciate it.
Feel free to call anytime.
Yeah.
You guys kicking me? Am I done? Like,
Yeah, you
I
got
just want to
one
plug a
minute,
few.
right? 1 minute.
We have. Cut it
We're
off.
good. We're good.
Yeah,
All right.
good.
So all right, we're
All right.
finishing
Can
up.
I? No, I just wanted to plug something. Also, want to say thank you to my exec producer, Mike Sciarra, that stood by my side with this project from the very beginning. Everyone that took part of it, everyone that believed in it, and I got to give a quick plug to Kuchiku.com. Handmade ribbon bouquets, made at home. It's a little startup business that my wife is doing. I'm doing. I'm helping the marketing. So
Send me the info.
Anyone having a communion, a wedding,
Yeah,
and
send
I
me
think
the
I'm
info.
out of
Plenty of
time.
those, right?
The movie is Breaking the Silence, and the movement is Broken Silence Movement. Frank Gigante, BrokenSilenceMovement.com. Check it out. Please, anybody who knows anything about bullying, contact him and email him. I'm sure all the information is on the website. Again, BrokenSilenceMovement.com. Frank Gigante, we want to thank you
Thank you.
for coming into the studio and sharing the story with us. Wonderful story.
One
And-
last thing, Freddie. We're doing a GoFundMe for the Broken Silence movement and the big movie. I'll let you guys know. So hopefully I could get everyone's
Absolutely,
support.
absolutely.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
Thank
All right.
you.
This is the Wiseguyz Show. We're going to be back with the Monkees' Bobby Hart, and he's also a music legend, so we're going to talk a lot with him. This is the Wiseguyz Show on DDVRadio.com, DDV Radio on TuneIn, Armed Forces Radio Network, Village Connection Radio Network, and City World Radio Network. We'll be back after these messages.
Ciao.
Della Physical Therapy.
Great job.
You have to say
Thank you.
really at all.
Featuring
Yeah, I don't know if I covered everything.
Jacob was saying, I said, hello to you when I
I'm
blessed.
Bring it back on.
Also,
We're going upstairs.
to the electronics. It's easy to set up. Visit www.della-physical.com.
I was watching the video as we were on.
201-791-0008. That's 201-791-0008. You owe it to yourself to stop living in pain. Start the road to recovery. Call Bella Physical Therapy today. Tri-State Health and Wellness. If you're searching for a doctor who truly cares about your health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex specializes in treating law enforcement professionals and their families and features special hours to accommodate different work shifts. All necessary testing can be performed in their friendly and comfortable environment. Contact Tri-State Health and Wellness, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. Call 201-791-7771. That's 201-791-7771.
Can you take a picture? 'Cause what's his name is not here yet?
If you're looking for
you
a
don't mind?
certified used or new
I gave
vehicle,
Jacob the phone
look
number of
no
the
further.
desk.
Visit
What time is it? 8:30.
New Jersey's law enforcement preferred dealer, featuring the largest inventory of
You left it in
pre-owned
the
vehicles in the
Oh.
tri-state area. Ford has been proudly serving the community for over 50 years. Conveniently located 1/4 mile from the Willowbrook Mall on Route 46 in Wayne, New Jersey, contact Wayne Ford today. Toll free 888-349-6857. That's 888-349-6857. Gale Orthopedic Center, featuring high-performance care for bodies in motion. Gale Orthopedic is proud to provide comprehensive orthopedic care for New Jersey's finest. Every day you put your body at risk, and Gale Orthopedic is here to help you. Contact Gale Orthopedic at 201-447-3880. That's 201-447-3880. Gale Orthopedic, high-performance care for bodies in motion. If you're tired of sleeping alone each night, contact Dr. Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is New Jersey's law enforcement professionals' preferred sleep apnea doctor. With the use of a custom-fitted oral device, you can now look forward to a restful night's sleep. Contact Dr. Doblin, featuring 2 convenient locations in Fair Lawn and Trenton, New Jersey. Call 201-396-9338 or visit athomesleepsolutions.com. City Health Pharmacy, located at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey. Come and experience why thousands of your neighbors choose City Health Pharmacy each and every month. City Health Pharmacy is a proud supporter of the men and women of New Jersey law enforcement, their families, and friends. Visit City Health Pharmacy today at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey, or call 862-772-0442. That's 862-772-0442. If you're looking for the widest variety of talk programs,
You have 30 seconds left.
All right, we got 30 seconds, guys.
uncensored and opinionated, visit ddvradio.com. You can listen on your smartphone, tablet, or any mobile device. DDV Radio brings you the widest variety of talk programs such as Living Life Well, Your World Uncensored, The Canine Authority, and The Wiseguyz Show. Visit www.ddvradio.com, the official radio network of NJ Blue Now.
All right, we're back on the Wiseguyz Show. You just heard Frank Gigante. Mike, what an inspiring story, huh?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. Frank is a great guy all the way around, and this totally inspired him. But he's done other productions, he's done other films, and he's very talented. But as you can see, that he's a person of heart, and yeah.
You have a caller.
Oh, we have our guest up, so we'll get back to that.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, on the phone right now, the this gentleman here is a member of a twosome. He's they both wrote songs, but we only have one of them on the air tonight. But he is a new friend of the show. We met him at Chiller a while back. He
an extreme talent.
Yes, he's
extreme
a legend
talent.
in the music world, and I
True.
just want to announce him for the first time on the Wiseguyz Show, and a new friend of the Wiseguyz Show. Legend, music legend, and music songwriter legend, Bobby Hart's with us tonight. All right.
All right, Bobby Hart.
Bobby, monkeys.
You there, Bob? Can you hear him? No, okay. We're trying something new, so you're going to have to speak through the speaker here.
I'm talking at you. Can you hear me?
Nothing?
Barely.
All right, we're trying to get... Go ahead, Bob.
Can you hear me?
No.
Not yet.
Can you hear me?
You there?
Hear me now.
No, we're supposed to hear him through the speaker here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, now we can, Thank you. We're trying something new here. We're trying something new without using headphones, and this is the first day we're doing it with the phone caller, so bear with us, and we'll keep going.
Yeah.
How's everything?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
We can.
It's very good to be with you guys.
Can you hear us clearly?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
All right, fantastic.
Well, Bobby, just so you know, we have legend baseball player Billy Samples in the house with us tonight. He's another guest of ours. He's a big fan. He's a big fan, and he's joining us tonight with our interview with you. Just letting you know.
nice to be with you all.
All right. Well, Bobby, let me ask you. Are you still doing stuff with Tommy Boyce?
No, he would not be.
Tommy Boyce died in 1990.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
it's-
I'm so sorry. I did the research and I did it on you, and nothing was given to me about that. I'm sorry. My apologies and
Well,
Been going for a good many years, yeah.
wonderful.
Well, Bobby, I grew up watching the Monkees. I was about 11 or 12 years old, so I'm a lot older than these guys. And it just amazed me how quickly the Monkees had a song. Now, how much lead time did you have, or did the producers give you to give them a song that they had to learn? I guess, I imagine they were lip syncing it. I'm not sure. I know Michael Nesmith was a musician of the quartet, but how did that work? How was that coordinated?
Well, that's a good question. It's actually two questions. We had a first interview with Bert Schneider and Bob Rafelson, the two producers of the Monkees television show. They explained the concept, what they wanted to do, and they hired us at our first meeting to produce to write and produce the music, not only for the show but for the records, because they'd be releasing records. So we had that year to put together a concept of thinking about all the different influences that we might learn from, to put together a new group that nobody heard of, but they're going to see every week on NBC television in prime time. So we worked on that and on writing the first edition of the 3 songs for the pilot show. So we wrote a song for a dance scene, and we had a song called "I Want to Be Free," which worked in the scene where Davey was broken up with his girlfriend, was walking on the beach kind of lonely. And then we needed a theme song, so we wrote that actually walking down the street. So
It's amazing how.
we started working on whatever else we would need to comprise the first album. Now the second part of the question that I think I heard you ask was how long did they have to learn it? That was a whole different story. Because what would happen was we would get one of the guys, one of the lead singers that we used, which was normally Mickey Dolenz or David Jones, after they'd been shooting the show, maybe 12 hours, 15 hours that day, and they were pretty exhausted. So we would be lucky to get Mickey Dolenz over to our recording studio by 10 o'clock that night. We would play him the instrumental track, teach him the song, give him a lyric sheet, and he'd go in there and usually nail the thing on the second take.
This is Jumpin' Gennaro asking a question. What inspired the show? I mean, that was a new concept and an idea that came out. And
the Beatles.
There was a comment from Freddie that it was the Beatles, but what made you think that this was something that was going to work? Obviously, it worked. It was amazing. We all grew up watching the show, and
At that first meeting, as I just mentioned, with the producers, they told us straight out we want to do an American Beatles on television. This is the concept of the show. And we knew that we couldn't get too close to the sound or the look, and that we knew that we would have 4 guys who had their own personalities and they'd be on TV every week. But we were immediately excited, Tommy Boyce and I, because we remember what happened when Ricky Nelson sang for the first time on the Ivy and Heritage show, and how he exploded because having the power of network television weekly behind your records, that was something I think it was going to work.
and this is Jumpin' Gennaro again. I wanted to ask one other. You have an amazing.
Hey, JJ, get a little closer to either the mic or the telephone.
Yeah, that might.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You obviously have a long history in music, and everybody celebrates your songs that you've written and your talent. What inspired you in music? I'm always interested as an artist as well to find out people's stories, how they actually got into that channel.
Well, I loved music almost as long as I can remember. My first exposure to it was in our Pentecostal church, where we would go several times a week, and they had great music, which was you call it Southern gospel now, but it was a precursor to rock and roll, and it was tambourine shaking and high-spirited. And I loved going to church because of the music. And then when I got old enough to discover radio, I realized that I resonated more with country music than first, because pop music in the early 50s or the mid 50s was kind of still holdover from the 40s, and it was a different kind of music that I didn't resonate with like I did with the sincerity and honesty of the country feel. So I was a big fan of Hank Williams and Hank Snow and Hank Walkman and all the other Hanks, and that was my first what I cut my teeth on first. And I knew I wanted to make a living somehow in that business, but I was still shy as a kid, and so most of my growing up time, I really thought I was going to be a disc jockey. And up until I was 17, 18 years old, when I finally made my way to Hollywood and enrolled in Don Martin School of Radio. And it was at that period when I was still 18 that I changed my goal, because I got a job to support my night classes, and I used to pass the recording studio that had a marquee above it that said, "Come in and see what your voice sounds like, $10. Well, I knew I could sing, a little bit, but I was just too shy. One day I got my mirror, and I went in and plugged down my $10, and he put some echo, and the engineer put some echo in the thing, and I laid down a piano track and sang over it, and back it sounded like a record, and I was dropped out of this jockey school, and I had a record deal with a producer. I did it in 3 months.
Boy, that's awesome. You have a little bit of a Johnny Cash story going on there.
Yeah, and it was, my first records were rockabilly. That was what was happening. And so
well, I remember in the film, I'm sure that had to be pretty accurate, that he, back home, he was walking past the recording studio and he got inspired to, with his guitar to just try to go in and do something.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of a common story, even Elvis going in to make a little record for his mom and meet Sam Phillips, right?
So it's of the times, right?
Is this correct that you wrote a song for Chubby Checker?
First, Tommy and I first hit together was a song for Chubby Checker in 1964 called Lazy Elsie Mom Stop. I guess in the top 30, something like that.
Wow,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, and then you also did Jade Americans.
Yeah, we followed that with just in a couple of months with Come a Little Bit Closer to Jade Americans, which was their biggest hit out of 20-some.
Yeah.
I saw something about Dean Martin. I didn't get a chance to research. This is Jumpin' Engineer again.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of my favorites. Go ahead.
Our songs were recorded by almost anybody in that period that you can think of, from Herman Hermits to, as you mentioned, Dean Martin too.
I could do a nice Dean Martin. Maybe before we close, I'll give you a sample.
Oh yeah, do it. Oh no.
Bobby, you talked about the background to the theme song of the Monkees. Can you share with us the background of, let's say, Last Train to Clarksville or Daydream Believer?
Sure. Clarksville was the first Monkees single, as you know, and we were in the process of completing their first album, and we needed another song. And I was driving home one evening and flipping through the push buttons on the radio. In those days, we had push buttons to change the stations. And I heard the Beatles singing, and it was just the end of their new release. I had not heard the song before. It was Daydream Believer. It was Daydream Believer. It was Paperback Writer.
Wow.
And I just heard the fade out, and Paul McCartney singing, "Take the last," and I thought he was singing, "Take the last," and that's all I heard. And it said, "Take the last train somewhere." And next day, I heard the whole thing on the radio, and I realized it was not about taking anything to anywhere, but I thought it was a good title. So I told Tommy, and we threw around destination cities, and came up with Clarksville, and it was already zooming up the charts even before the Monkees television show hit the air.
Was Clarksville a real city like in Tennessee?
I read Associated Press article at the time back in the 60s that said that they had sounded good. But there is a project right outside of Nashville. It's an Omni base. And so the song was about a man a boy going off to war. Vietnam was raging at the time, and not knowing if he was ever going to come back, he was able to see his girlfriend again. So having a rendezvous with the train station.
Well, Bobby, I did a little research, really deep research, and what I found was your name was changed only because that your manager at the time for one of your singles, your first single, I believe, he made the name Bobby Hart just because it fit on the label. Is that true?
He said that we made a record. It was coming out. I met him, and he shoved a box of 45s over at me. And before I could open it up and see for myself, he said, "By the way, I changed your name." Robert Luke. It was not my first record. My first records came out under Robert Luke Harshman. You can find them on YouTube.
Okay.
Harshman, H-A-R-S-H-M-A-N.
What was your reaction to that moment?
Yeah, how'd you react to that? Were you happy? Were you okay with it?
We changed your name.
I didn't mind. I thought that I probably would be better off using Bobby rather than Robert Luke, but my first label, they liked that whole long name for some reason. But I went along, I didn't have a lot to say about it. It was on they were printed up and it's already in the DJ's videos.
Well, that definitely has a nice
With
flow to it.
with all these legends of music that you worked with and all the songs you wrote and all, how did you get stuck with writing a theme song for Days of Our Lives?
Well, after we had those first hits in New York, Tommy and I got signed by Screen Gems Columbia Music, the music publisher arm of Columbia Pictures and Screen Gems Television. And so they sent us back to the West Coast where I first met Tommy years before. And so we got a lot of opportunities. We did a number of songs that turned out to be music for motion pictures. And in this case, we got sent over for an interview with husband and wife couple. We're starting a new daytime drama, soap operas as they call them, called Days of Our Lives. And we got lucky on the third try. They might have first two tries, but it's the third one. Tommy was about ready to get up after the first two because he said, "Hey, we had no idea that it would be running 5 days a week, for 50 years. We should have passed that mark already." And Tommy was saying, "Forget all of this. Let's just write hits, So I said, "Well, I got one last idea before we just shine them on." We were at the little recording studio at the time, and we got the news from our publisher. I said, "There's a Hammond B3 already system." I said, "When you go out there and turn on the tape, I'll just play some stuff that sounds like soap operas or music that the kind of stuff that I used to hear on my mother's radio soap operas when I was growing up." So that's what's been running under the hourglass for 50 years.
That's incredible. I couldn't believe that because I figured, oh man, all the stuff that you did, and you end up, you see this, you sang out songs, Chubby Checker, this one, and then out of nowhere, Days of Our Lives.
One of the longest running, one of the greatest soap operas.
Out of all the things you did, is there a moment that stands out the most that you look back on and really?
Yeah, you took my question. Exactly what I wanted to know. What was the baby of all?
What was the what?
The baby, your true baby.
True moment in life that you said to yourself, "Wow," something that sticks out.
Oh, there were just so many. Tommy and I became the national spokespersons for a movement to lower the voting age to 18 called LUV, Let Us Vote. And as a result of that, we got to go to Washington, D.C., walk the halls of Congress and meet our elected officials and lobby, and having that become a reality. When we started, they said, "Well, you're gonna have to amend the Constitution of the United States to make this work." And we wouldn't know. How hard can that be? We've only done it a few times, and to see that accomplished, that was a wonderful moment. Tommy and I playing the Grand Ole Opry, which we used to listen to as kids every Saturday night. That was a wonderful moment. It was just amazing.
Do you still? I know when we met you at Chiller, you did a lot of You were in the room with the monkeys. Do you do a lot of touring with them?
No, I don't tour with them. I was plugging my book. I wrote a book last year called Psychedelic Bubblegum.
Okay.
And it tells all the stories of either this stuff or my life story up to that point.
And you can find that on Amazon?
Yeah, again, you find it on Amazon, yeah. And the top is Psychedelic Bubblegum.
Okay.
So that's where I crossed paths with the monkeys several times. Did a Boston show and got up with Peter once, and then where I saw you at Chiller, Peter and Mickey were both there, so we got up and did 3 or 4 monkey songs. So I do see them around.
You play instruments then? Is there anything special?
Yeah, I'm a keyboardist. I still play Hammond B3 organ in my church a lot of Sundays, and I play a little guitar, but not really. I can't call myself a musician, but I'm pretty good on the keyboard.
Bobby, when I think of some of the songwriters from your era, I think of somebody like Brian Wilson. Did you and he cross paths during that time?
We did. Before I knew Tommy Boyce, and well, I guess around the same time I knew Tommy Boyce, I had a record out that was a hit just in Los Angeles, but because of that, the local radio stations that were playing it and plugging it would ask me on the weekends to go out and do these rock and roll shows and record hunts and so on. And so I would do those almost every weekend, and oftentimes the Beach Boys would be the backup band for all the other groups. So I met those guys early on. They were great young musicians, and too early to hear those wonderful harmonies that they did. They'd only had out maybe one record, surfing. I think it was just surfing. So those just we'd call out the songs that we wanted to sing, like What I Say or Money, That's What I Want or whatever, and they knew all the songs and they'd back us up. So I kind of stayed in touch peripherally. Tommy and I at one point, a few years later, produced a group called Ginger and the Snaps, which consisted of Brian's first wife and her cousin and another girl. And so kind of not so, but moving in parallel lines with the people. And I always respected their work. It's terrific and unbelievable what they evolved into.
So this is Jumpin' Gennaro asking a question here. Did you get a chance to meet with Dean Martin? You wrote some music for him, but did you get a chance to?
No, I can't say I remember too much. I can't remember any.
Were you?
Andy Williams.
Soupy Sales. You're on the Soupy Sales show, weren't you?
Yeah, Soupy Sales had a television special that he signed us to do. I guess it was probably around 68, 69. And he was a great guy, a fun guy. I've been a big fan of his. After school,
Yeah, we all were. I mean, the pie in the face, that was good. Yeah. You know what I saw? I saw one time, I didn't even believe in myself. Frankie Valli was on one of his shows, and he got hit with a pie in the face. And you never would think it was Frankie Valli. Yeah, he was on Soupy Sales, and I was watching something on YouTube, and I was like, wow, Frankie Valli, and I'm watching it, and he ends up getting hit in the face with the pie. How about with you? You guys didn't get hit in the face with the pie, right?
No, I never got hit in the face with the pie, but it's a sure thing. It's always going to get a laugh.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie just brought up Frankie Valli, so we gotta repeat something we did in one of the other shows. But obviously, you're gonna know who he is. Of the talent that you have in writing and singing and performing. I and Freddie specifically grew up in the neighborhood on the Belleville-Newark border, and Frankie Valli was, from the neighborhood. We kind of grew up exactly where the Jersey Boys kind of developed, and yeah. So and I have a family business, Colgan Motors Incorporated. We service and restore exotics. I'm in the neighborhood still since I left high school and went into the family business. So I still breathe and see a lot of the characters from the neighborhood.
And there was the actor Joey.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci, yeah, he's literally around the corner.
He used to cut hair. He was a barber in our neighborhood.
Matter of fact, when they were filming the film Jersey Boys, Clint Eastwood and
Belmont Tavern. They did it at Belmont Tavern.
yeah, well, they were actually they filmed it in the
Stevie Ray,
projects
Stevie
where
Ray.
Frankie Valli grew up, and so they were all hanging out there. The great talent who was also in the film. I'm sorry.
Yeah, terrific talent. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, so.
Well, Bobby, before we let you go, I just want to thank you for giving us your time tonight. And I wanted to ask you, I just posted your Amazon psychedelic bubblegum book on our Facebook group page of 25,000 plus members. And also, was there any websites or anything you would like to promote other than the book?
It's the book right now. You can go on bobbygum.com is the website, but the book is out there, and I actually read it for the audio version. If you don't want to read it, you can listen to it, or you can get the ebook. So most people who have an interest in that field of music will enjoy it.
Well, Bobby, thank you so much. Legend Bobby Hart, everybody. We want to thank you. Oh, wait, we got one more question.
Well, I'm going to make this real quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I want to give him a little sample. Since this was a great memory for us, and I hope it's a great memory for you, I thought maybe I'll just give you a little bit of memory by Dean Martin. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Take one fresh and tender kiss. Had one stolen night of bliss. One girl, one boy, some grief, some joy. Memories are made of this. Don't forget a small moonbeam folding lightly with a dream. Your lips and mine, 2 sips of wine. Memories are made of this.
All right. All right, let's go on. Bobby, thank you so much, and hope to see you at another chiller and at another expo. We'll be looking for you, but if you ever looking to promote anything, please email us, and we'll promote anything we can for you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Good fun.
Hey, when you listen, I always tell people that when they're in the neighborhood, you got to look us up. We're gonna take you to the best places to eat, drink, and have some great more conversation. And have some plenty of pasta. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Gotcha.
Bobby, thank you so much. All right. This is the Wiseguyz Show. That was legendary music writer Bobby Hart, and this is the Wiseguyz Show. Freddie the Fireman with Mad Dog Mike Jenkins, Jumper Gennaro, Anthony the Source. We'll be back with legend Major League Baseball player Billy Sample. That's right, he was on the Yankees, and I can't wait to hear what he's got to tell us. The Wiseguyz Show on DVBRadio.com. Tune in, Village Connection Radio, City World Radio. Check us out live on YouTube. We'll be back after these messages.
Sounds great. You could be
I mentioned this before.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
He did
announcing.
I mentioned
The opinions expressed by the host, callers, and guests are not those of DVBRadio.com, Wiseguyz Productions LLC, its advertisers, sponsors, or employees. Bella Physical Therapy, located in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, featuring one-on-one care. Bella Physical Therapy can help treat your orthopedic and sports injuries, chronic pain, men's health conditions, and women's health conditions. Also treating headaches and tinnitus and vestibular disorders. It's easy to set up an appointment. Visit www.bella-pt.com or call 201-791-0008. That's 201-791-0008. You owe it to yourself to stop living in pain. Start the road to recovery.
Lots and lots of nuts.
Bella Physical Therapy today. Tri-State Health and Wellness. If you're searching for a doctor who truly cares about your health and well-being, contact Dr. Alex at Tri-State Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex specializes in treating law enforcement professionals and their families and features special hours to accommodate different work shifts. All necessary testing can be performed in their friendly and comfortable environment. Contact Tri-State Health and Wellness, located in Fairlawn, New Jersey. Call 201-791-7771. That's 201-791-7771. Wayne Ford. If you are looking for a certified used or new vehicle, look no further. Visit Wayne Ford, New Jersey's law enforcement preferred dealer. Featuring the largest inventory of pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area, Wayne Ford has been proudly serving the community for over 50 years. Conveniently located 1/4 mile from the Willowbrook Mall on Route 46 in Wayne, New Jersey, contact Wayne Ford today. Toll free 888-349-6857. That's 888-349-6857. Kale Orthopedic Center, featuring high-performance care for bodies in motion. Kale Orthopedic is proud to provide comprehensive orthopedic care for New Jersey's finest. Every day you put your body at risk, and Kale Orthopedic is here to help you. Contact Kale Orthopedic at 201-447-3880. That's 201-447-3880. Kale Orthopedic, high-performance care for bodies in motion. If you're tired of sleeping alone each night, contact Dr. Doblin of At Home Sleep Solutions. Dr. Doblin is New Jersey's law enforcement professional's preferred sleep apnea doctor. With the use of a custom-fitted oral device, you can now look forward to a restful night's sleep. Contact Dr. Doblin, featuring 2 convenient locations in Fairlawn and Trenton, New Jersey. Call 201-396-9338 or visit athomesleepsolutions.com. City Health Pharmacy, located at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey. Come and experience why thousands of your neighbors choose City Health Pharmacy each and every month. City Health Pharmacy is a proud supporter of the men and women of New Jersey law enforcement, their families, and friends. Visit City Health Pharmacy today at 23 Court Street in Newark, New Jersey, or call 862-772-0442. That's 862-772-0442. If you're looking for the widest variety of talk programs, entertaining, engaging, diverse, uncensored, and opinionated, visit ddvradio.com.
We're coming back!
On your smartphone, tablet, or any mobile device.
Very loud, very loud.
DDV Radio brings you the
shut that
widest
phone.
variety of talk programs such as Living Life Well, Your World Uncensored, The Canine Authority, and The Wiseguyz Show. Visit www.ddvradio.com.
This is
Official radio
now you're more now.
station.
See, I'm
Blue
bringing
now.
music, but not the, you know.
Thank
All right, we're back in the studio, everybody. The Wiseguyz Show. Another hour left here. And now, our in-studio guest who we've been promoting all week, all month long. This gentleman has played 9 seasons in the major leagues, which is not an easy task, and he'll tell you what I mean by that. He was an outfielder for the Texas Rangers, the New York Yankees, and the Atlanta Braves. He played football, basketball, and baseball in his high school, but he was a player for the major leagues, and that's what he's here for tonight, to tell us how it went. He was seen on baseball cards in the 80s and the 70s, and I'm telling you, when I met him, it was a great moment because I knew I thought he was a football player. The name sounded like a football player, but then when I realized, the first thing that came to my mind when I met this gentleman was his baseball card, because I collected during that time. It is my honor and pleasure to announce our in-studio guest of the evening, legendary baseball player, Billy Sample.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you. That was outstanding. Thank you very much. Just like I wrote it. Thank you.
Welcome to the Wiseguyz Show, Billy. It was an honor to have you here. It was an honor to have met you. We met at our buddy Angel Salazar's comedy show.
That's right.
And we still, me and Angel.
I did an open mic stand-up.
Did you? You do?
After that, yeah.
He's a stand-up comedian.
Welcome.
Yeah. My first one. There were 16 of us at. Oh my goodness!
Did you quit it?
Fairlawn, huh?
Did you stop it?
How'd it go?
I thought I was pretty good. I didn't care about anybody else but me, but I thought I was pretty good. They had some people that, in fact, I saw at Bananas. That's where we met at Bananas, and I saw a couple of comedians there, and I thought of the 16 of us. I was pretty good. My material's pretty raw though. It's a strong our kind of material. Just like my movie, segue. Just like my movie,
Right.
Reunion 108. Strong R.
I didn't get too much info on that. Is that something new?
No, actually, I wrote the screenplay for it in 2011. It took top honors at the Hoboken Film Festival. So I
Wow,
said, well,
okay.
let me see if I can produce it. So I went into debt and hawked everything because we didn't make a whole lot of money back in my day, folks.
Wow.
And it's good. The person who rates the movie for the classification board really enjoyed it, which to me was very flattering because I imagine that person gets all the sports movies. So that was
Well, we had
very flattering
wasn't
to
our
get that.
our buddy Servino, Billy Servino, wasn't he in part of the Hoboken Film Festival and that?
I didn't pay him any money.
Yes.
No, I didn't. I didn't pay him any money.
No?
No,
No?
I didn't.
We heard you paid him
I
some
mean,
money to
I
get
know
that
those
movie in
film
there.
festivals can be a little shaky
No,
sometimes.
but we had a friend here. I don't know if he did the Jersey City Film Festival. I did one of them. I thought maybe the name
he did
myself.
do
From
Jersey.
Billy Servino. Was it Jersey City?
Yes, Jersey City.
It afforded me
That's
to talk to Robert Lozier, though, and he was
Wow,
talking
we-
about his baseball playing days at Wagner University.
Really? He
Which
played
is
with
something
Wagner?
that kind of
The late
access, yeah.
Robert Lozier.
The
We
late
met Robert.
Lozier,
We met
yeah. This
Robert.
would have been 2011, so he died in 2015.
We met him at Chiller though. He was at Chiller.
Mhm.
He passed, right? Just
Yes,
recently.
yeah,
Yeah.
just recently.
Yeah, but we met him at Chiller. He was actually next to Paul Burt Young, and Burt Young called our show.
What a
Robert
talented
didn't do
actor.
it. Yeah, Burt
Yeah.
Young
Oh,
called our
geez,
show.
yeah.
He's still alive.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, we also interviewed Ernest Borgnine
Wow.
back in I think 2011. He was still alive, and I met him at Chiller also. And
He lived
gave
until
me
he
his
was about
home phone number.
95. Yeah, he was in his mid-90s.
He made like 200 and something movies. I mean, and he was still doing a movie. It was called the guy that shook the hand of something. But that was his last movie, and I got to watch it. And I'm telling you, it was an honor to have met him. He was a great guy. He gave me his home phone number in Beverly Hills. Did the 25-minute interview with the old guys on the Wiseguyz show and me, and I sang "Mama" to him. I bring that up because you just sang to Bobby Hart, but I sang "Mama" to Ernest Borgnine, and it was just a memorable moment.
Say that again. What did I sing to?
Bobby Hart.
Wow. That's pretty wild. It just hit me that I was singing to.
You're singing to a guy who wrote the songs to all the Monkey songs.
Hey, I'm giving our wise
Jump
guys
the Jeep.
respect, okay?
Well-
Giving a little love.
This guy here played Major League Baseball, and tell it honestly, it is not easy to get into the major leagues.
You go through a lot of numbers. I believe somebody told me that of every player that signs, roughly 1 out of 13 will make it to the majors. And when I first signed in my first camp, I signed after my junior year in college, and our coach said, who later became our general manager, Joe Klein, he said, there were about 25 to 30 of us. He said, take a look to your left, take a look to your right, pick out another person, because that's all that's going to make it. And he wasn't saying it so much to scare us, he was just saying those are the odds. And sure enough, Steve Comer, a right-handed changeup artist, preceded me to the majors, and Brian Allard came after me. He got a cup of coffee with the Rangers and the Mariners, and that was it out of that group.
Now, where were you living at the time?
I was in Harrisonburg, Virginia, playing at James Madison.
So you got picked up by the Rangers in Harrisburg, Virginia?
Well, I was drafted out of high school in the 28th round by the late, great Joe Branzel, very nice man, the scout that drafted me. And he could hear my disappointment over the phone. He said, well, Bill, Texas Rangers drafted you in the 28th round. I'm thinking, I didn't know they had that many rounds. He said, at the time,
I was gonna say, is 28 the last, or is that
no, they had
35?
a few more, but
Holy
not
cow.
many more, yeah. And he said he could hear my disappointment, so he said, well, Bill, at the time there were 24 teams. 23 teams passed over you 27 times. As if to say, don't blame us for drafting you. It's so late.
Obviously,
Listen,
Texas Rangers were
I know
last
baseball.
place in '78.
I grew up watching baseball. Let me tell you how deep it goes for me. 1976, I was 6 years old, and I cried watching the
I have
Yankees.
dreams older than you.
Well, but follow me. My first vision of any sport was baseball. The World Series between the Reds and the Yankees.
She got swept.
I was a Yankee fan. They got
76.
swept. I remember crying. All I wanted them to do was win one game and not get swept. I would have been okay if they lost the series 4-1. As long as I just wanted to see them beat the Reds once, and they didn't. But at 6 years old, what 6-year-old kid watches the World Series these days? You know what I mean? And you know why? Because that was the only thing on TV at the time. The only big event going on was the World Series back then. There was no cable. There was no the big event was the World Series. That's it. No HBO show, just in case you didn't want to watch the World Series. The only thing on TV was the World Series, and that's true.
That's a great point, Freddie, because I grew up in Salem, Virginia, in the mountains of Southwest Virginia, and the only game we got to see was the game of the week. And even during the lean times, Tony Kubak, and before that, Pee Wee Reese, and somebody else was even before that too. Dizzy Dean. This is going back to the 50s. So the only game we got to see was the game of the week, and the Yankees were on quite a bit because of the market, even though they weren't playing particularly well. So it was fun for me to meet some of the people and interact with some of the people that I watched. Oh, this would have been in the 60s.
Oh, all right, they were.
I told you I had
just the early 60s.
Well, after 64, the Yankees took a dive.
Yeah.
But to have interacted with, if I go to an event, a charity event, and Joe Pepitone's there, he'll bust on me like we were teammates, and I was 7 years old when he was in the big leagues. And so it's been fun for me to interact with the Bobby Richardsons and the Tony Kubaks and now the late Clete Boyer and some of those people I watched when I was growing up.
Now your first at bat in the major leagues, you got a base hit.
Yeah, I was a first ball fastball hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're waiting for that first pitch. but pitchers I'm surprised pitchers actually gave you that fastball that first at bat. I thought they would not.
They didn't really have a scouting report on me.
No, but being that it was your first, I would always think that a pitcher back then, especially, would never let a batter get his first hit off of them. I wouldn't think they would just give you a fastball right down the plate.
No, I don't.
No?
I don't think they think that.
No?
Pitchers trying to establish.
They know you're new in the league, never had a hit yet. They don't want you to be.
I'm sure Jerry Augustine had no idea who I was. I'm not sure.
Is that who it was,
Jerry Augustine, left-handed sinking fastball. I lined it to right center field. Sixto Lescano dove. It went off his glove. I'm on first base with a Cheshire Canadian grin. And Bump Wilkes comes and pinch runs for me because it was really strange. I was just there. I was leading off the game to give Bump one less at bat from his right side, who's a switch hitter. And so it was a little odd in that situation anyway. I have no idea. We were playing in Milwaukee.
Did you get the ball?
Somewhere. They dirty up a ball for you and give it to you. And they hide the real ball. I remember Richie Zisk was doing something with the ball. I wasn't that sentimental anyway.
Did you have it though?
It probably got lost in the move. I'm sure it'll come out of the.
Well, they do it every day nowadays.
The days before the Tom Brady jersey, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about your debut. You debuted in September of '78. The season's over.
Well, we were actually 5.5 games out in third place. The Angels and the Royals. The Royals ended up winning the division in the West. Yeah,
I had the talk of the league with the Yankees and the Red Sox at that time. That chase in '78. Thank you, Fred.
It's funny. When I was traded to the Yankees, people were asking me about the excitement about the Red Sox and the Yankees. Well, I played most of my career in the other division. I didn't know anything about the Red Sox and the Yankees rivalry. I'm busy trying to deal with Kansas City
what was the Texas Rangers rivalry back then?
Everybody. We seemed like we fought everybody. Yeah. We had some guys who could fight.
Did you play with Nolan Ryan?
No, I only faced Nolan as an opponent when he was with the Angels, and I was with the Rangers.
Wow, was he as deadly as? I mean, not deadly.
I don't recall anybody throwing any harder.
Yeah.
And you could see it, and it's not like Nolan was hiding it, but you could see it. But
that seems like that's all he threw was a fastball.
Oh yeah, an outstanding curveball.
Oh, he did have a
nasty
curveball.
curveball.
Yeah. I remember him just always throwing fastballs. My most memorable game about Nolan was when he pitched it was the Angels and the Yankees, and Jackson broke up the hit with a no-hitter with a double. You know, when you're a kid, you don't want the Yankees getting the no-hitter. You know?
I got the second hit of a two-hitter he threw in Anaheim, but if Oscar Gamble hadn't gotten the first hit in the seventh, I don't think I was getting my second hit in the ninth. He was blowing. I don't recall anybody throwing.
Just threw smoke. Right?
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of reaction
How
time.
many bats crack on you?
I didn't break too many.
No?
I didn't break too many. But if you break one, you crack one, you get a base hit. Hey, it was worth it.
Now, in 1978...
That bat died a hero.
In 1978, you made the all-rookie tops team.
79.
79?
Yeah, I came up in 78, yeah. But you're right, the 79.
But the card that I remember the most was that triple guy.
Oh, with Danny Darwin.
I have him. I was looking for him. I can't find him, but too bad. I'm going to grab his money. I'm going to run it to him sooner or later.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to save him for you. Because
probably
I have
get
a lot.
15 cents out of it.
I think they're a
cup
little
of coffee, maybe.
16 cents.
Yeah, well, Danny played a long time.
But Billy Sample, it was Pat Putnam. I remember, and
that's a harder autograph to get. I see a few because people will send them send me to the house, and Danny Darwin signs them all, and I sign them all. And Pat's harder to find, but every once in a while you'll find a Pat Putnam.
Now, you
autograph.
also had a 19-game hitting streak in '81.
Yeah, that was kind of...
That was cool.
That was interesting because I had a 9-game streak.
You were a
Made
good
a
hitter.
diving catch, broke my wrist. The only time I went on the deal, broke my wrist. The light stanchions in Arlington Stadium were so low because it was a minor league park that you had every line drive went through the lights, and you just hoped that the line drives would come out of the lights. And I had to wait for this one to come out. And by the time it came out, it was so low to the ground that when I made the catch, I didn't have enough time to lift my hand, and I rolled on and broke the ulnar styloid bone there. So I went on the DL, came back. We had a labor impasse in 1981 that lasted 50 days. So I came back, had another 7-game. I had a 7-game after I healed from the broken wrist. Then we went on strike. Then I came back and got a hit the first game after the strike. So it was like a 19-game hitting streak that lasted 3 months.
Talk about that strike. I mean, this is 1981. I don't really recall. What was this strike over?
The owners wanted to make it was over free agency, and the owners wanted
What else
to.
is no?
Oh, there are other things too, the pension plan and things like that. But the owners had wanted to make free agent compensation so high that in essence you weren't a free agent because they were. Let's say you and I were the equal players, and your team signs me, and then they would have to give up you and then somebody else. Well, it's not worth it. They're not going to sign me because you're a better player than I am. So. That was essentially what that was over, and the owners had strike insurance that lasted for 50 days. And funny how they came to the negotiating table after their strike insurance went out.
But listen, you played 9 seasons, right? Am I correct? Okay, 9 seasons and a 272 batting average is not a bad batting average.
Well, thank you.
Not for 9 seasons.
That's let me tell you, you got, for the major leagues. Let me tell you, there's players that wish they can end up with a 270. That's that.
Thank you for
I'm going to say
nice
that's
of you to
more
say.
like into a Tino Martinez type of average, right?
I think Tino hit a little higher, but
No, he didn't hit higher than 280.
know he-
I don't believe it.
He had a lot bigger moments.
I'm telling you, maybe, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think Tino batted his career batting average ran at two.
Nice man, very nice.
270.
Man.
But did you
Plus
do any old timers days over there?
They only invite all-stars back. For
No,
old-timer.
they
They're not gonna
get
invite
out of
a
there.
guy
Well,
that
Kevin
one year
Moss
there.
wasn't an all-star. Kevin Moss was an all-star.
Tommy John got an invite
Tommy
back.
John's different. but no, they had Kevin Moss. They had Brian Doyle was another.
I went one time only when I was working at MLB.com where I was interviewing some of the guys. That's the only time I've been. But it was fun. It was fun to see some of the guys. And I see some of the Mickey Rivers. I see Mickey every once in a while, and his wife Cookie. My goodness, she deserves sainthood. And that's the Oscar
so
gamble I
that
mentioned.
story
about
with,
busting up the car in the
yeah,
parking
that's all
garage.
true.
I wasn't there. I was still in Texas.
That's what I wanted to ask you. In 1978, were the players still chewing psychedelic bubblegum? Which is Bobby Hart's book.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. Or something
Or
like
were
that. I haven't tried psychedelic bubblegum.
Nah.
All right. Yeah.
You would have hit 273
Oh, yeah,
then.
that's right. Game would have gone by a lot quicker.
now let me ask you, why did it stop? I mean, in '83, you were 5th in the league in stolen bases. Okay, you were 44 out of 52.
Oh, thank you. Thanks
And
for
yeah, we looked
knowing
it up.
exactly
Listen,
how many.
I probably knew this when I was 8 years old, but I had to refresh my memory. No, but to be 5th in the league in stolen bases back then, when you got guys like Ricky Henderson in the league,
Yeah, Ricky's still in over 100. By the time you get down to
he's still in the league for all stolen bases.
Ricky stolen yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Well, in the American League, it was Ricky.
He pled not
over
guilty.
100, and, Willie Wilson, Julio Cruz.
Yeah,
Paul Molitor stole quite a few.
Robin Yount, was he fast?
Robin didn't steal as many as Molitor did, but yeah, they could steal.
Ogilvy was pretty quick.
No, Benji was more of a power hitter. He was a lanky, strong, sinewy kind of power hitter. But you were talking about the Brewers. My goodness, we never got those guys out.
Harvey's Wallbrangers.
Oh my goodness, and we couldn't get Ed Romero out, much less Molitor and Yount, and Cecil Cooper and Ben Ogilvy and Charlie Moore and Ted Simmons and.
Yeah.
Whew, you get behind those guys on a Saturday afternoon or
About
Sunday
Ken
afternoon.
Singleton, huh?
Oh,
Ken Singleton.
we
He was
played him a bunch.
Cecil
As an
Cooper. I
outfielder.
remember all these names.
Yeah, Kenny's nice.
Who
man, very
was
nice
who
man.
was your best friend on the field?
I didn't really have.
Did you have roommate? Like, did you use a roommate back then?
No, you had to pay back in our day. You had to pay the difference between a single and a double.
Really?
And I did
Really?
because I like my freedom. And but nowadays it's in the contract, the basic agreement where you get a single room.
Now, I always thought that if you played for the Yankees, you got a little something back. Is that true?
You get a pinstripe. No,
They,
you
no,
get no
they don't give you. Steinbrenner didn't give money like a pension type of thing if you were always a Yankee.
Well, no, the pension is
No
league
echo?
wide.
No.
So then it's based on how many years you play.
Now, at Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, you go into the museum and they have the section where all the signed balls. Is your ball in there?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, that's
There we
what
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a Yankee.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know the perks. I didn't know the perks.
Then
Thanks for reminding
isn't that
me.
like every Yankee in that thing? Isn't it supposed to be? They try to get
They try
every
to get
Yankee.
everyone, I think.
That
yes.
ever wore the pinstripes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they also they have the suites numbered, so by your number they have your name. I was traded for Toby Hare, and we won.
Were you
we
traded
wore
for
the
Toby?
same, and we wore the same number, 11. So I'm under him. As
You
far
know who
as
else wore that number? Fred Stanley.
The chicken wear?
That's right. He wore 11.
Stanley wore 11.
Well, it was the only number that was
We don't
available.
have the chicken man here tonight, but
No, but yeah, we actually have a chicken man.
We have a
all
Oh,
right?
you were serious. Mike was serious.
he's
Okay,
right
yeah.
there. He's
There's
right
the
there.
chicken man over here.
Oh my goodness.
He
Oh,
works
okay.
at, if you want, and by the way, if you want some good chicken, you go where he works at the Hawthorne Poultry, right? Is that
Yes.
what
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Are you from
Serious
the
I
area?
can have some
skill.
yard bird.
Are you from the area?
I live in Bergen County.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
not that
Well,
far.
you're gonna meet the wise guy
A
right
little
there.
south of Oakland. But,
The chicken man, Pedro Aliano. He's gonna hook you up.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he's right there.
He was out
I'm
of
all
town.
about perks.
He was
Yeah, Willie grew up in Brooklyn, but I think he's the only Yankee that lives in the area, or
Yeah, 'cause
has
his
lived for a long
son
time.
played for Indian Hills a couple of years,
Right.
about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I used to, to see Andre a lot.
Was that Franklin Lakes or where?
That is, Indian Hills is in Oakland.
Oakland. Okay. That's-
I just
I'm a
posted-
little south of that off.
I just posted your year in pinstripes for our.
Well, thank you.
members.
Yes, you can get it off Amazon, or you can go to.
We
the
got
reunion.
time to that. We got more to talk about.
That's
here.
what we got an hour.
You
don't we?
now in high school you were a three-sport standout. You
I
played
wasn't good in
football?
basketball. I was good in
Alright.
football.
Okay, yeah. Well, you did score a touchdown, I think, in the semifinal game. Was it the semifinal game?
Have you seen the movie Remember the Titans? Have any of you guys
Yes.
seen that?
Yes.
You've
I
seen
remember-
that?
yes.
Yes,
Haven't
I
seen
remember.
that?
Is
Yeah.
that with
Denzel Washington?
Denzel Washington? Yes.
and,
Okay. Yeah. Right.
And a lot of young stars in there. Oh, geez, is it Ryan Reynolds? No, not Ryan.
That's not the game.
It's not.
Is that,
We actually played in real life. We played them in the state finals.
oh.
But the only game, the only thing in the movie that replicated us was that the game was played in Roanoke, Virginia, which it was, because you really can't Hollywood up a 27-0 score. So they had them in a movie play their district team, George Marshall, which was the only close game they played that year. We both went into the finals undefeated at 12-0, but they put a whipping on us. And but the Marshall game was that close. T.C. Williams shut out, including us, 8 of their 13 opponents.
Wow.
That's how good their defense was. In the semifinal game, I had caught 7 passes for 117 yards and a touchdown. Not that I would remember that from 46 years ago. But,
Probably remember like it was
like yesterday. I know, really. I can see the ball.
Al Bundy,
in the
right
final
here.
game, I got
4 touchdowns in one game, Billy Sample.
We threw the ball quite a bit. Our quarterback was a coach's son. He was 6'3", had a nice touch, so it was fun to be an offensive player. But in the final game, I caught 1 pass. They called it back. Yeah, we got hurt.
Now, so football. Did you happen to play baseball because you got drafted by baseball, or that you still had a shot for football?
That's a good question, Freddie. No, actually, around age 15, I thought at my size, if I was going to go further, then it would be in baseball. If I had been maybe 6 feet or 6'1", I was kind of I ran good patterns and I had speed. My hands were okay, but I thought I had to be that tall in order to play football the way I played football. So at around 15, I thought, well, if I got a chance to get out of Salem, Virginia, it's going to be through baseball. And so I sort of concentrated.
And I think you're the 3rd baseball player we had on this show.
Oh, who else?
Rick Cerrone.
Oh, Rick Cerrone. Oh, we got some stories. We got some stuff to talk about on there.
Oh, that's but we got another half hour. We're gonna go on break, eat some pizza, come back.
Was Rick Cerrone the bully of the team? Is that what you're saying?
No,
I saved the higher contract for last. I saved the higher contract for last. I figure Rick Cerrone because he was a Yankee and
I played against.
And he was a wise guy.
I think I broke Rick's thumb. Yeah, I think I did.
You broke Rick's
You broke
thumb?
his thumb.
Yeah,
With
not intentionally.
Swinging?
Yeah.
Wow, really? That's
He was. It was a hit and run, and it was a pitch out on a hit and run, and I was trying to protect the base stealer because they had deciphered the hit and run. So he brought his hand up too quick to try to catch it and throw the runner out, and I broke his hand. I broke his thumb.
On purpose?
Catching him.
Let me tell you, back in
Do
the
I
day,
seem like the kind of guy that would break a guy's
listen,
thumb
back in the day,
intentionally?
baseball players were rough.
It was-
Even the little league
I
were
don't know.
rough.
They're playing rough now, though. Isn't it? Throwing,
Nah, yeah.
throwing behind Machado's head and stuff. What is going on?
Yeah,
Didn't Henny already pay his sentence for that?
They have a whole lot of beaming in that.
Did you see the interview with Machado? It was like beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
beep,
I can understand why he's upset about
Yeah,
it.
he said something about running out there with a bat and everything, man.
Yeah.
But also we had Rick Cerrone and we had Mo Vaughn,
Ah, jeez. big-
Jersey
Wow.
guy. Jersey guy.
I went to Seton Hall.
He went to Seton Hall.
Oh,
and
Cerrone did too.
Cerrone did, yes.
that's right, yeah.
No, well, yeah, Cerrone went to
Cerrone,
Seton Hall.
Seton Hall
I was
too,
thinking
yeah.
that's his Catholic because that's where Cerrone played it at. That was high school. Because he went to Essex Catholic was in Newark. Then it went to East Orange, but he played when it was in Newark. It was because we were from Newark.
Is that where you can go to whatever school you want to?
Newark?
Parochial schools around here can just recruit, can't they?
Um,
Because I'm up there with Bergen Catholic and St. Joe's. And,
I don't know because I tell you, I never
and,
played. I was a
what's
good
the other
baseball
one?
player.
How
I just
many teams that you
Don
played on
Bosco.
up until like you know
We could talk
7,
about
8
that
years
Yeah,
ago?
I go say yeah.
He's a nut.
Yeah.
Tell me how many teams you were on.
who me? Oh
You
no,
played.
softball.
All right, but
I was a good baseball player. I just because I didn't play. Problem with me why I never played high school ball was because it was too political. I was like a star in my league when I was in little league.
Are you as big as you are now?
Yeah, I was a big kid.
Did you play football?
I played football too. I played more like, believe it or not, for my size, I was more like a tight end because you could throw a ball at me and I could just put one hand up and catch it. You know, like I could go far and just jump up with anybody. And I just could catch anything. You know, I could catch a ball with one hand, like always. I grew up a baseball player and I learned how to play catch without a glove a lot. And to wear a glove was a lot easier. I was a lefty. I was one of the stars in my league. And I'm not gonna brag. I know we're talking about you.
No.
But I just want you to
I
know.
like hearing other people's stories,
I
too.
lost
Well,
my
that's the
opportunity
point
to
I
play
brought up.
pro ball. I feel was because my high school was very political, and I felt that I was better than anybody they could put out there because I had that attitude and I was that good. I was the starting pitcher. I was a lefty batter. I was a switch hitter, and I was a lefty glove. But I never played first. I played third. But because I had such a good arm, I was the only little leaguer that could play third and could catch everything and throw a strike to first. Well, the problem in the little league was the kid catch the ball, but he couldn't throw to first. Remember, there always the problem was I threw it too high or threw it in the dirt. I threw a strike because I was a pitcher, you know. And anyhow, make a long story short is I never played. We always played with our friends. We were like Sandlot kids, and I was always a power hitter. I could hit a ball. I could never. I probably could hit a ball over 350 feet as a little leaguer.
Whoa.
I would say my farthest shot was in the 300-foot range. I mean, 320 foot. I mean, the one memorable shot they said that I hit one to another diamond, which was a roll to another diamond, but I only made it a triple because I was very slow. My only thing I didn't have was speed. And but anyhow, make a long story short again, is when I went to high school, I tried to join the league and they wouldn't let me. They told me that I had to sit, and I was like, sit.
Because you transferred?
Because I went from a North school to a Belleville school, and everybody was in the system already. I wasn't. I'm like, well, what do you mean? I can't just try out and prove to you that I'm better? No, you know, this kid's been there already, and I'm like, I never got a chance to play. So they told me to join track. So I joined track. I'm running around and they're practicing. I said, hey, coach, he was my shop teacher. I said, can you mind if I take a couple swings? They had their All-American, All-State on the mound, throwing batting practice. So I said, yeah, all right. So he throws 3 pitches, and I never struck out. I was like struck out once a year. In Little League, I struck out once a year. most in 1 year was twice. But I got up in high school against the star All-American, All-State, and I got up. I was left. He struck me out 3 pitches, and then the coach said, "You have enough?" I said, "No, one more. Give me one more," because I never struck out. I couldn't catch up with it. I said, "Throw me one on one." And I hit a bomb opposite field on top of the school. Da-da-ding, da-da-ding. I remember that. I put the bat down and I hopped the fence. I said, "I got to finish my track." And the coach the next day was like, "Well, why didn't you join earlier in your?" I was like, "Look, I wanted to play, and this is my chance. You don't want me to play. You tell me I got to sit. If I can prove to you I'm better than your players, I should be playing." It was political. So that's why I never got a chance.
I love
But I went out to play softball and did my thing there.
I hear that more
I made
from
it to
people
professional
around here,
softball.
that there are politics that play into
Mm-hmm.
playing, and I'm not
Boosters.
boosters.
Yeah, but as a softball player, because I was a good ball player, I made it to professional softball, semi-pro, to the nationals. I made it to the nationals. I went to world tournament in Wild World of Sports in Disney by playing softball. I mean, I was a good ball player, and you know, I miss it, but you know, it is what it is. But I wish I had that one more chance to try to play high school ball. I think I could have had at least a chance to play.
I got a buddy in my where I live. John Pimpinella is his name, and he played at Montclair. And Paul Mirabella, who pitched in the major leagues, left-handed pitcher, was teammates with me coming up through the minors, and he played on the same team as Mirabella, and has a lot of talent. I've seen him play different sports around the town, and he said he had trouble with his coach. I said, "Why didn't you get signed?" He said he had trouble with his coach. Well, a lot of us have trouble with our coaches, but we managed to get through that until you.
We're gonna deal with Billy Martin for a year.
Well, according to our engineer, we're gonna go right to
2-foot
10
leash.
o'clock, just so you know. I'm sorry. We're gonna go right to the end.
Okay.
We're not doing no commercial. You're our special guest. They can wait for the commercials. But now we can get back into more stuff now.
Do we have to pause?
You-
Pause so you can put a commercial in there?
No, we're done. Oh yeah, you want? Let's give everybody a break and bring up our sponsor of the evening. We want to thank Richard Starry, Steve Starry, Sean Starry. Let me see here.
You'll get it straight.
Let's do a little reading for a few people. Home Security Consultant LLC. They are sponsoring us tonight, tomorrow, and the next 4 weeks. Sean Starry, Home Security Consultant LLC. Go check him out at homesecurityconsultantllc.com. Sean Starry, who is he? He's an owner and a consultant of a security company, and he's there to help you fit your needs at your home to make it secure. Call him at 815-238-3005 and ask him about how you can secure your home and feel safe. I saw something about a smoke detector with cameras that you can view on your phone, all good stuff. There's so much more to talk to him about. He knows more about it than I do. All I can tell you is call Sean Starry at 815-238-3005. And tonight, we want to mention our meatball contest. The Wiseguyz versus the Wisegals. It's a $32 dinner where you get Lana Graziano. That's Renee Graziano's sister from Mob Wives, New York Mob Wives. You get Lana's famous Sunday gravy with rigatoni pasta, meatballs, sausage, pork, topped with fresh mozzarella, plus coffee, soda, and a dessert that's out of this world. You gotta reserve. It's coming soon. It's May 16th on a Tuesday night. We did it that way so you can try to get out there instead of weekends are tough. But reserve by May 10th. Call 732-869-0700. It's at Bradley Beach, New Jersey, 600 Main Street and Brindley Avenue in Bradley Beach. I'm telling you, Wiseguyz. Also available, how to use a meat cleaver by the Mob Wives themselves. Renee's the Mob Wife, but Lana and the sisters, listen, they're Wisegals the way you want to look at it, and we're going to battle them heads up. Who's going to make the best meatballs? And we're going to do a video for Lana and show her just a little taste of what we're going to get done. Meatball contest at Mangiare 2 in Bradley Beach on Tuesday, May 16th at 5 p.m. Reserve now. I'm telling you, bring your own too. There's no alcohol. You got to bring your own. And Mike's bringing his own. You coming?
I'm going to be in Vegas, but save me some meatballs.
All right. What about you? You coming?
I can't, I'm working.
Oh, okay. All right. Real quick, one more thing we want to mention. Actually, two more things. Freestyle Explosion, Big Daddy Entertainment, and Daddy Sunshine. They were here last week. This Saturday, May 6, 2017 at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. You got the Freestyle Explosion Lupus Benefit Concert with Noel, Lizette Melendez,
Dana Dante.
Who?
Dana Dante.
Donnie Dante, yeah. No, I didn't get to her yet. Voice, we have Alias, Willie Valentine, David Eric, he was here last week, Clear Touch, and our buddy Hector Lewis, who will be getting up there doing a little comedy. You know Hector, right?
I know Hector.
Yeah, Hector, you've done stuff with Hector.
Oh, yeah.
And Lime, remember Lime? Freestyle Explosion, there's a lot more to come. Check them out. Call for more information, 551-689-0500. Tickets on sale at www.freestyleexplosion.brownpapertickets.com. I'm telling you, it's at the Landmark Lowe's Jersey Theater, 54 Journal Square Plaza, Jersey City, New Jersey. Also, one other event, yeah, we're going to get to that. That's the last, we're definitely going to promote that. But we want to mention the walk. Daddy Sunshine, the fight against lupus, register now. 3rd Hudson County Lupus Walk, a day of family-friendly activities, Saturday, May 13, 2017 at 10 a.m. at 1 Lincoln Park, Jersey City. Sign up and or donate, HudsonCountyLupusWalk.org. Again, info, call 551-689-0500. You are not alone. And my final announcement of the evening is for our photographer, who is around here somewhere, A&D photographer, Anthony Scala, and his photo booth, his Royal Blue photo booth. Check him out on Facebook. He's great for any event. He can take the pictures, or he brings his photo booth with all the props and stuff, all good stuff. He's involved in a trail run and walk for Gramgy, in memory of Pat Glams, I can't even read it. Prelude to a Cure. You got to check it out on Saturday, May 13, 2017 at the Hilltop Reservation, Quarter Lane, North Colwell, sponsored by Brian and Elise. I'm telling you, got to check it out. It's a trail run walk for Gramgy, and it's called Prelude to a Cure. Check that out on Facebook, and there's awards, all good stuff, so please check it out. And we're going to go right back to our guest of the night, our in-studio guest, Billy Sample, who's going to tell us a story about baseball and what he remembers the most.
I got a question for Billy.
Yeah, thank you.
See, you
held me out there.
Are you enjoying yourself on the Wiseguyz show?
This is fun.
Oh, see, this is every week for us.
Notice my voice went out. This is fun. Oh, this is fun.
Come hang
Thank
out.
You talked about Rick Cerrone before, and there was a famous altercation with Rick Cerrone and George Steinbrenner. Do you remember the details of that?
I wasn't there.
You were
No, I wasn't. I was there the year that Billy Martin and Ed Whitson got into a fight.
That was 85.
Or a series of
I remember
fights,
that. I remember
that.
that. Whitson beat him up, right?
Well, Billy had a broken arm afterwards. I wasn't there for the fight. I was in the bar the night before, but somehow my timing has never been
You were
good
in the bar that night?
The night before.
Oh, the night before.
I missed that. And there was almost a fight in the bar in Baltimore the night before, but I just sort of watched it long enough to see that finally they weren't going to fight.
In 85, was Billy Martin fired in 85, and Yogi bought in?
No, it was Yogi's last 16 games, starting the season.
Right.
And then Billy came in.
And then Yogi never talked to Steinbrenner for a
until
long
Susan
time.
Wallman brokered a deal between Yogi and George, and they met and made up at the museum, the Yogi Bear Museum in Montclair, or is that Montclair?
Upper Montclair.
Yeah,
Upper
it's
Montclair.
on the campus.
Yeah, there were a lot of fights with with George and the players.
Yeah,
that
it was
reconciled
interesting.
years later.
Anthony, you could cut the tension sometimes with a knife. It was just the whole matrix from George to Billy to the press to the players and back up. And that was a year that Steinbrenner called Winfield Mr. May.
Right.
But aside from that, there really wasn't a whole lot that went on, but just daily there was something going on all the time. I told the New York sports writers, or a couple of them, that they were lucky because in Texas, where I played most of my career, you might have to search for a story, but with the Yankees, there was just one evolving every day, it seemed like.
In the 70s, they called the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah. I was teammates with a lot of those guys, but all of them in Texas, like Sparky Lyle in Texas, Mickey Rivers in Texas, Bucky Dent in Texas. So I guess after they they wore out their welcome in New York. They were traded to Texas. Brad Corbett, who was the owner of the Rangers at the time that I came up, was a New York guy. So he and Steinbrenner.
Were you ever close with Reggie Jackson? I mean, I'm sure
Reggie and I get along. Yeah, we get along.
I'm sure he talked about that dugout scene several times.
Do you know, I've not talked to him about it. I was always an opponent of
Right.
Reggie, so I really didn't. But we've been in
Were you
situations before, off field, and he and I have fun.
He wasn't on the Yankees when you were there?
No, he was with the
He was
Angels.
already
when I
traded
was
to the
there.
Angels?
Yeah, he was with the Angels
He was
when I
with
was
the
there. I
Angels.
think he was in the Angels.
82.
Yeah.
The
okay,
82,
right,
it
right.
was his last year with the Yankees.
So then you played with Winfield?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
The team was pretty much the outfield was Winfield, Ricky Henderson, Ken Griffey Sr. For the most part, and then whatever spot that Ken Griffey Sr. was not playing, about 8 of us.
What
of us
a
were trying
career
to play
Ricky
it.
Henderson had.
Oh.
I mean, he didn't stop playing until. Was he really that old?
He didn't stop playing till the Newark Bears got put
Yeah,
out of
but-
business.
Yeah, but
He's
no.
hanging out down there.
But he was like the oldest
Yeah, I
major
saw
leaguer
him. Saw him.
playing for the
He
Bears.
was in his
Yeah.
40s. Yeah, I think he was in his 40s before he.
I
He
got
was
like
up
10
there.
of these at home. I'm mad I did not bring one of them
didn't
in
bring
my
any in?
attic. No, I wasn't thinking. But
Actually,
this
that's,
was
that's an
86.
That's an 86 card. You
Yeah.
won the
Well, listen,
Yankees in 86.
Billy Sample
But they
wants
were
to
a
do
year
some
late.
stand-up.
Weren't they a year late?
What's that?
The
There you
cards
go.
were always like a year late, right?
Couple
If you
base
played in
stealers.
'85, the '86 prints
Yeah,
were
yeah.
the last
Year
year.
after.
Yeah,
What,
With
how-
that is awesome.
how-
With Ricky
how bad
Henderson?
were the Yankees in 86. I'm sorry.
Well, by the end of the year, Anthony, I was in a Billy Martin doghouse with about a 2-foot leash, so I figured that I was not coming back. I don't know why. Well, there could be 15 different reasons. Like maybe we had the same nickname. I'm not sure, but I wasn't a favorite, and Billy was still in control at that time. Billy Martin was still in control, so I was traded after the season.
Really?
To the
Really?
Braves.
And then, so
I
but
have
did,
no
you
idea
did play
what
under
Bobby
Billy
Cox-
Martin for a
Yes.
little bit?
Yes, it was the year I was there in '85 was Mattingly's MVP season.
Right.
That was special. He did some surreal things that year, and it was Yogi's last 16 games starting the '85 season, and then he was let go, and Billy Martin came for whatever tenure it was for Billy. I'm not sure.
Who was the toughest pitcher you faced?
We don't have enough time. We're stopping at 10, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
We got plenty of time.
No, we don't have time to go through the class.
No, we do. We got 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, actually, 15.
50. It might not be enough.
Well, the toughest pitcher first. Let's just start with that.
Well,
Because you were a hitter, and I know you see. I like to talk about Little League. I remember the toughest pitcher I faced, and he was the one who would strike me out at least once a year. You know, and it took it.
well, you only struck out twice a year.
I that was 1 year I struck out twice.
Wow.
1 year, and it was in the All-Star. It was in the All-Star game. So
No
I mean,
kidding.
I struck out once in the regular season, once in the All-Star game. It was twice a year.
Were the all-star opponents from the other division or from your division?
No, it was just all from the whole league.
From the whole league.
From the whole league, we
Everybody-
just
okay.
mixed into all stars and
Oh,
split up
okay.
into teams and we played. But I remember who struck me out. I mean, so but I remember who I faced, and I was just afraid of facing because of the way he pitched. And the only way I got even was because I pitched too. So you know, if they did something, I had to pitch to them. So it was the same kind of thing. We were kids who lived. I used to get up and bat. You know who taught me how to play? The baseball players on TV. When I used to get up, I used to simulate Reggie Jackson's stance. If I got in a slump, I'd simulate Greg Nettles' stance. If I got in another slump, I simulate Thurman Munson. And I keep moving it around. But that's what we did. Kids nowadays, they don't do that. They learn from their teachers and stuff. Our teachers were not only our coaches, but because we had the love for baseball.
Gotta watch the game.
We used to watch them play and simulate them. You know, throwing, I used to simulate Ron Guidry when I threw. You know, he was my favorite player. So, actually,
Guidry was
Nettles
in
was my
85.
favorite
That was
player.
his last 20-win season.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying, those were our teachers. So you got to remember who you faced. That you always had to have that thing that like maybe you were worried that they're going to throw at you, or they threw crazy stuff like a Phil Negro or Joe Negro. I mean, was there anybody that you were like just didn't want to face?
Again, we don't have enough time. No, actually, Fred, yeah. The late Tom Underwood and I knew that I had trouble against him. And he was pitching for the Orioles at this time. I had trouble with him when he was with the Blue Jays or the Yankees.
So you're saying Underwood, not Palmer?
No, Underwood.
Underwood.
And and I got he cut like a cutter fastball into my hands, and I hit it so poorly that it didn't get to anybody. And like a golf shot, it started to backspin. And he looked at me at first, and I looked at him, and I kind of nodded because that's the only hit I remember.
Oh.
And I looked through the numbers. You can go through baseball-reference.com and see how you match up against. They don't have it all right, but they've got it right enough. And I was 2 for 21 off him.
Wow.
But I was worse against some other guys. I was 1 for 16 against Shane Raleigh. I was 1 for 14 against Jack Morris. I started going through these numbers, and I'm thinking, how did I stay in the league? Who did I hit? I'm 1 for.
Did you ever
one
face
for
Raleigh
everybody.
Fingers?
Yes.
You did face him? How was he?
Great control.
Yeah.
Great control. Not particularly a hard thrower, but great control.
I'm
Slider, you get hit on the corner.
I'm very impressed with his detail. He remember I'm just like.
Listen, I
remember
fly.
facing winnings with Milwaukee. In fact, he
fly.
won the MVP with the Brewers, I think.
Like yesterday.
And one of those strikes. I think the strike shortened year he won. He won MVP. He won something.
You never had a
Who,
face
Raleigh
Tom
Fingers?
Seaver
He
on.
won the.
I faced.
You're talking about
I
Raleigh
did face
Fingers?
Seaver.
An exhibition. I'm talking
He
about.
won
No,
the
I
Flyers
faced him when he
and
was the White Sox.
Okay.
Who's that? Who's that?
Tom Seaver.
Oh,
Tom Seaver was at the end of his career with the White Sox.
He was trying to get 300.
How about
He got
Phil
300.
Negro? Phil
I didn't
Negro?
do well on him at all. I
The
was 0 for 8,
knuckleball?
I think, a lifetime against Phil. But Phil was with the Yankees when I was there.
Oh,
And he
okay.
won his 300th on the last game of the season.
Oh, were you there for that?
What's on the team still?
Oh, yeah, you were so okay. Well, you played the full
They
season.
haven't let me go yet. No.
Did you play the full season with the Yankees?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so they let you go
They
and then you
needed
went to the
somebody to
Braves?
sit on the bench for the TV camera.
You went to the Braves?
Yeah, I was
That was
traded to the
America's
Braves.
team. Wasn't that America's
Not in
team back
85,
then?
not in 86.
Not in 86, although we were a game and a half out at the All-Star break and didn't finish much better than that.
Let me ask you something. Was it different? You played with the Rangers and the Yankees. Was it different going from American League to National League?
Yes, yes.
Because of the DH?
Yes, in large part. I think the pitch patterns are different. They throw harder in the National League because they utilize their fastball more, and the American League is more of a breaking ball league because
Really?
because of the
It is like
DH.
it's 2 leagues then.
Yeah, and back then too because the ballparks are more uniform. But the DH does make a difference because you can't throw just here a fastball to 9 legitimate hitters. Somebody's going to get you at some point. So they would try to keep you off balance so much in the American League. I was just thinking the other day that Doug Flynn, who played most of his career in the National League and won a Gold Glove, with the Mets and the Reds. He was on our team and he was our 9th place hitter. And somebody threw him a 3-1 curveball and he was beside himself because they wouldn't have wasted a 3-1 curveball on him in the National League because he wasn't a power hitter. They would just throw fastball here to see how far you can hit it. You might hit it hard right into shortstop or
Now,
something.
obviously your career was American League versus American
I
League.
love the National League. I love the National Leagues.
How do you-
I love the challenge of them. They sort of come at you a little bit in the National League.
How do you think you would have fared now with interleague play? I mean, you have the Yankees playing the Mets.
Well, not more interleague play with the talent nowadays. Do you? I mean, because I noticed a couple of different things. There was more anger in a player back then. You saw more rugged. Nowadays, you just see kids coming out of college or minors, and there's still a fight in them, but you don't see that. You don't see that hatred. Like Yankees hated the Red Sox. Thurman Munson could not stand Cartman Fisk. You know what I mean? You do not
Good
see
point.
that no
Good point.
more.
Yeah.
And
Sonny
the
Harrelson
game is
beat Rose.
changing to where you're seeing 99-mile-an-hour pitchers, 100-mile-an-hour pitchers throwing like all day long. There was only a few. Well, would you say there was only a few back then? Or would you say the average
Well,
pitch?
that's a good point, Freddie. I was talking to Gerald Perry, who was a teammate in Atlanta and later became a hitting instructor, and he said that one of the differences between our era and the era now is that they don't come out of the bullpen throwing, or in our era, they didn't come out of the bullpen throwing 98, 99, 100. Because they didn't. You didn't
Right.
find many. The hard throwers are probably mid-90s coming out of the bullpen. Usually those pitchers were at the end of your roster. Nowadays they can come in and somebody throws 95 from the left side with movement, somebody can throw 97 from the right side, and they'll do that, they'll back it up. And I don't think they backed it up quite as much in my day as they do now.
What pitcher in your era would you say didn't get the credit he deserved that you thought was really, really good and just that, like, because like nowadays you'll see pitchers throwing 97 and it's just like everyone else throwing 97. Were there pitchers back then that true like Nolan Ryan that you just didn't think got the credit that Nolan got?
Well, I don't know if I can come up with somebody right off the top of my head, but I will say that I don't understand why Jack Morris is not in the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Okay. He's just one that I'm
Yeah,
still scratching my head going, what else does one have to do? And they talk about a high earned run average. Okay, his earned run average was higher, would be higher than anybody else that went into the Hall of Fame, but he's the one that pitched only to a lineup that has a designated hitter in it. And a lot of the guys in the Hall of Fame didn't do that. So he had 9 legitimate hitters every night. Of course, your ERA is going to be a little bit higher if you're going against 9 legitimate hitters as opposed to 8 hitters and a pitcher and probably a weak number 8 hitter at that. And he's a guy that I think, as great as he was, and he had more wins than anybody in the 80s, and he had 3 World Series championships. I think he's the one that if I had to promote somebody and say, well, what's wrong with this picture, I would say it's Jack Morris, not in the Hall of Fame.
I agree. That's definitely one guy that definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. But where I was a little surprised that Vladimir Guerrero never got in either. He should have been. He
should be.
He'll get in, but he should have been first ballot. That kid was crazy.
I
Good.
thought he was.
I was afraid of him. I hated him because he was he used to kill the Yankees all the time. But
didn't strike out.
No,
much,
he was and had a cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
And I got like 10 of his autographed rookies, and damn, that hurt me. So,
but he used to bring his mom on when he came over.
Listen, when I looked at him for the first time, I said, "Black guy named Vladimir." I don't
There was a big Russian influence in the Dominican Republic.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, Vladimir, where's that coming? No, but I do want to ask you: did you ever face Goose Gossage, Rich Gossage?
Yes.
And what did you think of him? Was he as intimidating as he looked?
The problem, I didn't have problem, and I faced
his intimidation reminds me of a Randy Johnson type of intimidation.
Yeah.
I mean, but was he as intimidated? I mean, when you got up against a guy like him in this big part of the game, were you just wondering if he was just going to throw a wild and come at you?
No, I didn't have a lot of fear that way, and I was a good high fastball hitter. But what was tough about it, and I did have one of those, the only time I think I was consciously aware that I don't really want to do this was when Goose was on the mound late in the game, and it's a 1-run game. So if the first guy gets on, I've got to bunt him over. Well, you're in your most vulnerable situation when you're bunting. The only time I got hit in the head really was when I was bunting. And so you've got to get the bat out in front of the plate to keep it fair. And you've got to give a little bit because the person throwing so hard is jumping onto your bat. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know if I brought enough testosterone to the ballpark today to do this, but somehow it didn't materialize.
Yeah, you couldn't say that. You couldn't say that a few years ago. People don't take it the wrong way. What was the biggest moment of your your biggest at bat? Like what do you like the biggest moment where maybe for a playoff spot, I mean,
you heard the crowd go just crazy.
Yeah, I mean where you were just needed in that moment, something that you remembered, something that sticks out in your mind.
The game.
We ask this question to every our guest, and it's a lot of fun because whoever's listening is curious about a few things. One is what they're. I'm going to ask you. The last thing I'm going to ask you is what do you recommend for kids nowadays who do want to make it to the pros? But before that, I want to know what was your biggest moment that you could remember?
I had a Yankees half inning. For as little as I played there, I had a Yankees half inning against the Red Sox. It was a 4-game sweep at the stadium. There were great catches in the whole series. I remember Ricky Henderson made a great catch, and Willie Randolph made a great catch. And my game was Game 3, bases loaded, protecting a 1-run lead somewhere around the 6th, I think. And Marty Barrett hit a line drive to left center, and I dove and made the catch. And in fact, Jim Rice was at third. He didn't tag up the score, which I'm not sure what Jim was thinking. But so that was a great catch. And then a batter later, Wade Boggs singles to left. The tying run scores, and I throw Rich Gedman out at the plate.
Oh, nice.
So it was 2-2, and I didn't even get to bat again because they changed pitchers in Ken Griffey Senior game. My day was over.
So you were friends with Ken Griffey
Senior? Oh,
yeah.
Junior was only like 15 years old.
I messed up. I put a picture of him first on the poster. Remember I screwed up the poster of you?
Oh.
I put
okay,
Ken Griffey, and you're like, that's not
he's
me.
a handsome man. He's a very handsome man. I was flattered. At least you're going to put somebody that looks good up there.
I didn't think it was you, and somebody was telling me that
I get
was
that
you.
sometimes. I get that from somebody did Don Baylor, which I'm sure really make Don Baylor, man. I have to tell him when I see him.
Yes, his picture pops up when you.
So I get
Baylor. When you Google your name, those.
Andre Robertson. We all kind of. I can see where that
Bob
happens.
Watson used to look like Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, I can see they're about the same.
I was looking up your name and I saw a picture of Sidney Porter come up.
How was it like playing?
Thanks, Mike.
Cliff Johnson.
Big
Cliff Johnson.
We were never teammates.
No.
Yeah, we got in a fight one time in Oakland. No, it was in Texas actually.
Against each other, or
no, not he and me, but Danny Darwin, who we talked about Danny earlier, he threw from right around here, 3/4, and he'd run a fastball in on right-handed hitters. If he hit you, and you objected, he'd meet you halfway if you wanted to discuss it. He wouldn't let you get tired running after him. And so he hit Cliff on the hip. He didn't mean to do it, but he hit him. Yeah. And then the next at bat, I guess Billy Martin had gotten it. He was managing Oakland at the time, and I guess he had gotten into Cliff's ear and said, "You're gonna let him do something like that." So the next at bat, Cliff grounds out, and then he crosses the mound and says something to Darwin, and they start hooking him. So we had a bench clearing, but we had some guys who could fight. So it was
back then. That's what they were record. They would fight anybody.
They had some. Yeah, even before I got to the big leagues for good, Willie Horton, and they still had John Ellis and Claudel Washington. They had some guys that could throw hands, so if they wanted to fight, they could fight.
What do you think of today? Do you think of baseball today? When you watch it, do you see anything?
Oh, I'm amazed by it.
Yeah.
The talent.
Aaron Judge, names like that coming into the game now.
6'7", 275.
Another home run tonight.
5, 6 years, he might be the next Babe Ruth. He's that big.
He can still bases too.
Yeah.
And just, it's.
What's your advice to kids nowadays who want to make it into the pros one day?
Well, scouts are looking for something potentially major league, whether it's major league arm like you had, or major league speed like I had, or major league bat, major league power. So if you have something that sets you apart along the areas that the scouts are looking for, then I think that helps you as far as getting scouted and getting drafted. Aside from that, I would tell you, I was telling some kids in Inglewood Cliffs earlier this week, that if you get you're working on improving your skills, don't worry about beating that goes to the other school. Worry about being better than you were the day before. And there's probably always something you can work on. And you can apply that not only in athletics, you can do it in academics, you can do it in any walk of life. But if you just get into a rut, then try to be better than you were the day before, or do something that was different than you did the day before. Because you always have to kind of improve. Because if you're not getting better, then if somebody else is getting better, then you're becoming stagnant.
You got that, young guys out there. Again, you want to, before we go, you want to promote your book and where you can find it, or any websites? Or
Well, both the book and the movie are on Amazon. You can pick them up. Reunion 108. Does anybody know why 108? It's a baseball-centric reason for 108. Yeah, but you can there's a Facebook for Reunion 108. You can get the book. A link is there for the book and the movie. But you can get it off Amazon.
Yeah, if you want to find the Amazon, his book, it's on our Facebook group page. And any websites, anything. You can find Billy Sampa on Facebook if you want to message him about anything you'd like to know about.
I'm closing in on my 5,000 friends. So
well, you better hurry up.
Yeah, better hurry up.
But how'd the film get an R rating? That's what
a strong R, Mike. A strong R.
I love it. I love it. I will be watching.
It's from my screen. It's from my screenplay,
and it's right up my alley.
It's a behind-the-scenes look. Oh, I think you'd like it. A behind-the-scenes. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to shoot. And I was talking earlier about Reunion, not Reunion 108, but the Remember the Titans playing in that game. I actually have a guy in the movie in my movie who was in the movie Remember the Titans. Bo Keister, which is kind of like cool. A little full circle.
Well, we got an engineer going to close us out. Is he there?
He's not here.
Us out?
And Mike's going to sing.
We're supposed to.
Oh, here he is. He's here.
Are we done? I mean, are we done? All right. Well, Billy, I want to thank you for coming in and joining the Wiseguyz show. This was
Freddie,
great.
thank you.
Give Billy,
Yeah.
Billy Sampa, legendary ball player. That's right. If you played 9 seasons in Major League Baseball, you're a legend in my book.
Well,
and especially you had a high batting average. Not too many batters can. You got guys that leave the league playing batting 230. You know, and 270. You're close to 300. Right? But we want to thank you for coming in. We want you to know anytime you want to promote anything, you let us know. You're always welcome to join us in the studio. And all I can tell you is God bless you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed your stay here with us.
Very much. Thanks, guys.
And I hope you enjoyed the Wiseguyz too. The Wiseguyz couldn't make it. Billy, Jerry the plumber. I hope you feel better. And Pete the chicken man from Alcatraz. Stay safe wherever you are. Who knows where you could be. And Andrew Anderson, the wrestler in Las Vegas. Whatever you're doing out there, I hope you win. But Billy, a sample, everybody, thank you so much again. Give him another round of applause. We want to thank Bobby Hart and Frank Gigante for coming in and telling us all the story. But this is the Wiseguyz Show. Another version of the Wiseguyz Show is over. We'll be here back next week. And come to our Facebook group page and check us out for more information on all the stuff the Wiseguyz does. And we're always going to be on ddvradio.com, DDV Radio on TuneIn, Armed Forces Radio Network. We'll be on City World Radio tomorrow night. Check us out there. And Village Connection Radio Network on Monday between 9 and 11. But we replay again here on Saturday, same time, between 8 and 10 on Saturday. We're here, Jacob?
Yes.
I think
We want to
so.
thank
I
the
think
engineer,
so.
Jacob. We want to thank Mike Jenkins for coming in, the Mad Dog, Jumpin' Gennaro, Anthony the Source, Bobby Hart, thank you, Frank Gigante, and obviously our big in-studio guest tonight, Billy Sample, Major League Baseball. Billy! This is the Wiseguyz Show. We'll be back next week with a guest that you can't imagine. Check it out on Facebook.
Pizza by that's amore. When you dance down the street with a cloud at your feet, you're alive. When you walk in a dream, when you know you're not dreaming, signore. Scusa me, but you see back in old Napoli, that's amore.
You went to the broadcast the Braves?
Did the
We're gonna do
Braves
some pizza now, what?
88 and 89 with
Freddie.
I had a picture of
Brody,
my broadcast.
give me those headphones.
Oh,
Um,
cow.
this one. And then I did a little.
I got him. I'll take care of it.
I did Angels Radio for a couple of years. I did a little ESPN. I did a little. I don't know. I couldn't keep a job. I was working for whoever.
How come you kept leaving all those broadcasts?
How about coaching?
they
How
left
come you
me.
never got into coaching? You never did none of that? Didn't want to?
You got many more people wanting to coach than spots.
So what? What does that mean?
No,
A lot of players
I
that
wasn't
were-
dirt. I wasn't dirt. I appreciate the game. I love the game. I respect its history, but I wasn't doing anything that was crazy about
therapy today.
talking snotty nosed kids.
Now, a lot of players.
Making
Doctor who
way
truly
too
cares
much
about
money.
your health and well-being. Contact Dr.
What do you think
Alex
you'd be
at
making
Tri-State
today?
Health and Wellness. Dr. Alex specializes in treating
In
law
that
enforcement professionals
4
and
to
their
7
families,
million.
and features
think
special
so?
hours to accommodate different work
As a
shifts.
fourth, a
All
third or
necessary
fourth
testing
outfielder,
can be
yeah.
performed
Yeah.
in their friendly and comfortable environment. Contact
But my
Tri-State
first contract-
Health and
I don't know if
Wellness,
we talked
located
about
in
it.
Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
was
Call
21,000.
201.
Well, I didn't-
That was during the double
That's
digit.
I try not to get into people's money.
No, it's 21,000.
Everybody, thanks from Frank Gigante. You're all awesome. We appreciate the show a lot.
If you are looking for a certified used or new vehicle, look no further. Visit Wayne Ford.
He invited me to. He welcomed me to the club, which I thought was really nice. I was traded.
Can you
from,
just hit-
I was traded from the Rangers. to the Yankees.
turn it around. Just turn it-
The Rangers had already opened me.
50 years.
Just hit stop.
Conveniently located
Traded that
1/4
evening.
mile from
The Yankees had